Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-a-la-carte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
The following program is an opinion-based program and does not reflect the opinions of the businesses of Town Square Mall, any of the horses at Paul's house, or any of the people in the great state of Belfair. And if you are the people that like to get butthurt, grab a suppository because this is
the Outlaw Radio Network.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our best.
Republic. I like the sound of it. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood, marrying our your expense.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over.
You meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're gonna have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I decline to be an outlaw.
All right, everybody, it is the Outlaw Radio Network for the 10th of August, 2025. K-Dog, Black Tom. Hello, buddy.
Hey, what's happening, my friend?
Good to see you, my friend. You look good.
Not as good as you.
Listen, I just wanted to tell you.
Rangers jersey is
awesome.
Like that?
For those of you looking at home, this is the Rangers jersey from when we went to the game for my birthday weekend.
Ooh.
We're going to go again in early September. We'll go check out a Rangers game. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Tom?
That was a blast.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alaska.
You will be in Alaska. You'll be having more fun and a different kind of fun.
I will.
Than we'll be having. When you're in Alaska, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you find me a wife that knows how to hunt and fish so I don't have to do either?
Really? Okay, but there's a big option in there.
No meth, though. No
with or without teeth.
Well, they got to have teeth.
Kevin,
but because
how are they gonna open bottles of beer with their teeth if they don't have any?
You know what you put? You know what you get when you put 32 Eskimos in the same igloo?
A lot of inbreeding.
A full set of teeth.
A full set of teeth. All right,
damn. Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin, you don't want a woman from Alaska.
I don't?
No. She would kick your ass.
Sarah Palin's from Alaska.
She would kick your ass.
Sarah Palin would kick your ass.
She's a good-looking girl, but
she would beat your ass.
Hey, Bristol the Pistol, good-looking girl.
Oh, I liked Bristol, man.
But the fighting at the family barbecue.
I liked Bristol, though. Oh, a little old for Bristol, but she was an adult, though. I can say these things.
Yeah, she is hot. I give her that.
Oh, yeah.
An Alaskan woman.
But who's nailing Palin?
No.
Did she divorce her husband, or are they still?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who cares? But there was a porno parody that was called "Who's Nailing Palin?"
Oh, is it?
And the actress
looks like Sarah Palin.
Pretty accurate.
Or was it Tina Fey?
No, it was.
Oh, okay. Who's nailing Tina Fey? All right.
I
don't know.
Trust me, I have taken one for the team. I watched it.
Did you? You took one for the team. Yeah, really quick, we are going to open up with something. A couple people have mentioned it. Bob Winters passed away last week. Now, if you guys aren't local Kitsap County folk and you didn't know who Bob Winters is, you missed one of the really unique characters that this area has seen in its history. And as we've gotten bigger and a little more commercial and mainstream, you lose out on some of the interesting character dudes. But Bob Winters, or as I call it, as Bobby Vegas or something like
Bobby
that.
Vegas. People that didn't like him called him Boob Winters.
Yeah, some people didn't like him. I mean,
a lot of people did. I was one of those people that didn't like him.
You didn't like him?
I never had a good relationship with him just because I worked for his competitor.
Yeah. Him and I used to talk all the time. I hadn't talked to him in years, but he and I used to talk all the time. Fun guy, energetic guy, a little bit of an ego, but you've got to have an ego to be in the entertainment business.
He was the first guy to bring karaoke to Kitsap.
Yep.
And
did you ever know Bob Winters?
No, but that's interesting to hear that he was here in Kitsap at some point.
Yeah. We'll bring Hannie Baxter
that's
on camera. Say hello, wave hello to everybody, Hannie.
Hey, where am I looking?
Well, the camera's right there.
Oh, camera right there. Hey, everybody. Hi, I'm Hannie.
We'll
holy crap, we have a visitor.
Yeah, we'll talk to Hannie some political stuff in a minute. Okay. Anyway, so Bob Winters passed away. Again, if you're a Kitsap County native for a long time, you'll recognize the name. If you're not, you've kind of missed out. Dude was interesting. Dude was never boring.
I had no idea that he had passed.
Yeah, he passed like within the last week, I think. No, it must have been more than that because the memorial was yesterday.
Yeah.
So anyway, hello, Shauna, what up? but yeah, it's man, as I get older, I keep encountering more people dying, and I'm quite frankly not a favor of this. I'm not in favor of this whatsoever.
I'm going to say right now,
yeah,
I would like to take myself out of the funeral preparation music business.
Yeah, please do.
I've had enough people die in the past year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm over that line of work.
Yeah.
And I'm not really fond of being good at it.
Yeah, no. And as John said, it won't be the same without him. It won't be, although again, I hadn't talked to him in years, which is a little sad. And I thought about, it's really weird too. You ever have this thing where you think about somebody that you hadn't thought about in forever, and then you hear something about them 2 weeks later? Like they got married, or they died, or they got arrested, or something. But you
Arrested.
hear, but you just hear something that you just think about somebody out of the blue you hadn't thought about in like forever. And then 2 weeks later, their name comes up in conversation, or something happened, or they're in the paper, or then you run into them, or just something. Like I thought about Bobby Winters about, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, and wondered what he was up to and how he was doing. And well, now we know. He was on the Bremerton City Council once upon a time. He ran for mayor for the city. I don't think he won.
No.
I know the name, but I'd never met him.
Maybe a very unique business entrepreneur throughout the years.
Yeah. Paul, did you ever
Naughty
know
and
Bob
Nice?
Winters?
Yeah. His karaoke store.
Yeah.
A couple of nightclubs he owned.
Yeah.
Hollywood Underground was huge for a minute in Bremerton.
Yeah.
For high school age kids.
I said, when was that?
That
was way back in the 80s, man. That was 85, 86.
That was back when we had
a building downtown.
That was back when we had DJ gang wars in Kitsap, right? Because you had Bobby Winters group, you had Mastermind's group, you have Dave Rose's group,
yep,
and then you had Hoffman's group,
yep.
And quite frankly, I was Team Hoffman, and we annihilated all of you.
I was Mastermind DJs all the way, baby.
that
Rocking
was
the night shift.
That was before I was at Washington resident.
That was like right around my junior, senior year. So
well, you graduated what? 2017, 2018?
No, hell no. I thank you.
I'm giving you a compliment, Hannie. Just take it.
Thank you for the compliment. No, so I was to graduate from South Kitsap in 1987.
Wow.
But I went ahead and had a child, and then I ended up graduating because I didn't have enough credits. I ended up going over to Bremerton High School and graduating in 1989.
Well, it's easier over there. Yeah.
You graduated.
I wouldn't necessarily call it that. I had
I'll
to
do it for you.
I think
I did something similar. I was supposed to graduate in 85 when we moved to the east side of the state over to here, and I wasn't getting credits that I needed because I was lazy, and so I did the adult high school diploma out of Olympic College.
Yeah, just to own it.
And nailed that in
Exactly.
a couple of months.
Yeah. And I was really determined to get a high school diploma. And I had an ex-boyfriend at the time. Matter of fact, he's on Bainbridge Island. He used to work in radio for KBRO, in fact, right? So he's like, hey, listen, you cannot go through life without showing, a little pipsqueak here that you can get it done. He's like, you got to go back and get a high school diploma. Why are you selling yourself short? And of course, after I was all butthurt about that somehow, I went into Bremerton High School carrying my child, and they're like, oh, cute, you have a Cabbage Patch Kid. And I'm like, yeah, he's walking and talking. And if you'd like to babysit this little darling, I'm here for you. But yeah, so I did go in and I got my high school diploma.
Nice. By the way, Debbie DT says, hi, Hannie.
Hey, hi.
Yeah. She's not going to be at the Derby again this year, I don't think. She hasn't mentioned anything about coming out for the Derby, so I don't think she's going to be there. Cheater.
Last I saw, she had gone to a.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. Okay.
That was crazy.
Yeah, she probably went to she's probably going to different derbies now. She doesn't want to be a part of ours. Hi, Paul.
Hi.
What's going on, buddy?
Paul jumped on and figured out the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even touch the button either. Just
Can you turn him up a little
magically
bit?
did
Is
it.
his mic loud
We
enough?
turn Paul up a little bit?
Yeah, just a
No.
smidge. Okay.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. What's up, buddy? Long time no see.
Yeah.
How you been?
Busier than a one-legged man in a tail kicking contest.
Yeah, you look fucking awful.
So,
All right.
I feel awful. Thanks for pointing that out.
Damn.
You look like death warmed over, man. What happened to you?
Yeah.
So listen, we're
He must be
joining.
married.
We're joining us. So I'm going to give you the layout for the show. So Hannie's here
Yeah.
till 8 at least. Hannie may hang out and talk national stuff with us. I don't know. We haven't figured it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But we're going to stay local for the first hour. We'll talk with Hannie about some of the stuff within the county Democrat Party. I do want to talk about how I think Michelle Caldera is in deep doo-doo in the Senate race, and I'll tell you why. We'll break down some other stuff that's going on in the county and statewide politics. Later in the show, a whole bunch of stuff with Trump. I mean, it really is becoming the Outlaw Radio Network's presentation of the Donald Trump's presidency. Because
don't feel bad,
because there's always
legacy media is the same way.
There's always something to talk about. Kevin Nelson said Paul's actually in studio. Nope. He's a figment of your imagination. Yeah. Debbie was in the county last weekend, stopped in and saw Tom, but didn't stop in and see her buddy Kevin. I guess I know where I
know
rate.
who else was in the county last weekend and didn't stop by?
Who's that?
Dawn Doss.
Really?
Yep, she came to my house.
Yeah, she went to Texas and got her.
Is that Shinerbakken beer thing?
Yeah, and then she decided she was too big for us. Whatever.
No, we were actually going to record a message, but she never came over, and I never really have my recording stuff set up either. But
listen, if you look in the dictionary, and then we'll get to Hannie in 2 seconds. If you look in the dictionary and you look up the word woman, it actually says someone who doesn't follow up on what they said they're going to do.
Uh-oh.
So that is the definition. Yeah. All right.
Damn.
Hannie,
Kevin.
Yeah.
you're the exclusion to the rule. We love you. Thank you for coming in tonight. How
Oh
are
boy,
you?
yeah, look at him!
Wow.
Look at him
Hey,
backpedal.
Glad to be here, I think.
I'm a trained
maybe.
professional. Don't try this at home.
Kevin's great at riding that unicycle, isn't he? Forward, back, forward, back, forward. Back.
How are you, Hannie?
Gee, I've missed you guys too.
Oh, we have missed you, Hannie. As a matter of fact, you and I talked earlier. Can I get you a cocktail?
Yes, you can.
I will.
Bring it.
Pardon me a moment. I know exactly what you would like.
Yeah, I have missed chilling. I have missed chilling with you down here and just shooting the breeze and having a lovely drink. And I try to advertise you when I can, when I'm on the Twitter, because I'm a really on the Twitter.
On the Twitter.
Yeah. You know, it's long ago, I met Rick Larson, and Rick Larson sure as can be said, you are Hannie Spice. You are Hannie on the Twitter.
On the Twitter.
And I was like, wow, that's impressive.
That is
but thank
impressive.
you. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Can we get I guess the important
the big elephant.
The big elephant in the room. Thank you, Paul.
Right, the big elephant in the room.
The big elephant
somewhere.
in the room. So I'm gonna opine for a second,
You can opine.
and then I'm gonna ask you a question.
You bet.
Then
The
if we
fact-
go to Maple, that'll be me.
The fact that Hannie Baxter is no longer the Kitsap County Democrat chair completely blows my mind. When I look at the state of Kitsap County politics for the Democratic Party standpoint, this is a blue county. I mean, every seat in the county has gone blue with the exception of Michelle Caldera's seat, and many would argue that she's pretty purple. So take her seat out of it. The other representative in the 26th, the state senator in the 26th, every seat on the north end. Now there's some Kitsap County involved in the 35th. But again, most of that is Mason and middle of nowhere land. But for the most part, Hannie, like I would say your reign as the Democrat Party chair for Kitsap was pretty successful.
Right. I mean, even though I walked into it, I'm like, sure, I got this. I can do this. And perhaps maybe 1-2 months in, I mean, I started my tenure with Mom being entered into the hospital with some weird bacterial infection.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, how can I successfully manage things here? And I've been through a lot, and I was able to really do some good, I think. And I'm really proud of a lot of what we, achieved together as Democrats. And I love my Democrats, my fellow Democrats, and I'm blessed to have that time,
So why are you not the chair anymore?
Well, maybe October of last year. I was stressed out. I was tired. I felt like a whole lot of people were just like, I almost felt as if there was like this shift in tide and people were turning against me for really weird reasons. And I'm like, I don't get this, but I'm going to finish my term out. And I really wanted to do one last term. I had someone with me that I really wanted to serve because I thought that they were really energetic and really go-getter and really organized, which, sometimes are my challenges. But I actually got a phone call from Addie, and she, in no uncertain terms, said to me, you're not running again. And you're not running again because you're too old. And you're too progressive. And I'm like,
so who is I know who Addie is the person in the reference point, but what weight does she carry to be able to say to you? Like, I would imagine if Paul called you and said, Hannie, you're not running, you're too old, you'd be like, F off, Paul. I don't need to listen to you.
She'd be like, let's have a beer and I'll tell you what I really think.
But why did Addie saying that have any weight? What is she in the process?
Addie is within Democratic leadership within the county. So, she was surely doing it from that standpoint. And I just, I was tired. I'm like, man, this last election, I have had to put up with some crazy crap. And, I've done my time. And, I'm not even going to bother.
You can dish. It's okay, Hannie. We've had Republican Party members in here that are high mucky mucks, and they came on and dished. You're welcome to do the same.
You bet. And I will. But where I was going with this was that I was just in no uncertain terms, just really feeling burnt out. And I have always promised myself, if I feel that burnt out, I don't want to carry on because I'm not really helping anybody within our party, and I'm not really being useful by carrying that. So, I was told other things, like I couldn't go to a PCO meeting because I was too scary and intimidating. And I'm like, what in God's green earth? But you do you, girl. You do you. And then when I confronted them with this information, and they turn around and are like, I have never said a negative word about you, Hannie. And I'm like, well, all righty then.
A lot of two-faced people, yeah.
Honestly,
God loves politics.
Any political group, any political party, every
one of them.
Every one of them has their own sets of challenges, both internal and external. And I just feel better that I'm here as just Hannie at this point, so that others can take the reins and solve whatever. And we come together as Democrats and we make good things happen.
We had heard, and I'm not going to name any specific names because I've got nothing to back it up. And the last thing I want is for them to accuse us of more shenanigans. But we had heard that there was at least one local elected individual who may have been behind kind of the push to push you aside to get some of their people into that role. Do you?
And I have heard that too, plenty of times. And
if I recall, I actually reached out to Hannie and asked her when we first heard that.
Right.
Just so we can hear it straight from her.
Yeah. So with that question, more than anything, no, those persons were not instrumental.
No,
she picks her words carefully, though. God
no. I mean,
not instrumental.
Not to say that people, elected officials, only one called me to say that, oh, well, I don't, you should not run. And there'll be other opportunities for you in the future. And, everything will be just fine. And it's like, well, thank you for your time and have a good day. All right.
And are you saying that?
Was the phone connection good? Hold on. Was the phone connection good when she called you when she was on the cruise ship? Sorry, never mind. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
I did not say that.
No, I didn't say anything.
Yep.
Everybody goes on a cruise ship. Yeah. Everybody does. Go ahead, Paul.
I will never go on a cruise ship. But
really? Oh, it's so much fun.
Hell no.
How about Hannie and I sit down and educate you on what it's like behind the scenes on a cruise trip?
I don't need to know what it's like behind the scenes. I know what it's like
on
my scene on a cruise ship.
I am a wind sailor. I grew up
there you
on
go.
the shores of Yukon Harbor, learning to sail on like a 36-foot sloop, right?
Oh, seriously?
So
That's a hell of an
yes,
experience. Girl.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, things on the water that, I do like jet skis. I'm kind of excited about that, but I'm not as excited about cruise ships or anything.
You get
I can
intimate with
get
the
on a-
water and the wind and the waves.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
I
That's awesome.
love ferries,
I'm
and
just
that's my
impressed.
big
Well,
shit.
hey,
I'm
to
just
each his own,
impressed.
Hannie.
Yep.
I'm just impressed that that individual was able to call you.
FERRIES, Washington State
Yeah.
Ferries, kids.
I'm gonna buy you a
I'm just
Suzuki.
impressed that that individual was able to call you, considering how much they're on vacation. Paul,
Okay.
you had a question. Go ahead.
Damn, dude.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Damn.
you
What?
killed this moment.
Everybody goes on vacations, especially this time of year. It's in between election cycles. I'm not talking about anyone specifically.
Speaking of sailing, have you ever had the wind taken out of your sails? Go ahead.
Yes.
Kevin just did.
Yes, I have, and that's why I had to drop anchor at Harper now and again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great place to scuba dive, by the way.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Fantastic
Yeah.
scuba dive.
We've gone from political talk to
the-
this is water talk.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Think so?
We're going to cover all.
There's
the
a lot of
things. It's great,
innuendos
Kevin.
in that conversation.
Yeah,
There is.
right.
Anyway, so what you're saying, I just want to make sure I understand you correctly. Is what you're saying is there was a phone call to you, basically saying, hey,
From a cruise
there'll be
ship.
more opportunities. Jesus Christ, Kevin. There'll be more opportunities for you later on down the road.
Right.
I mean, we're not throwing any names out there or anything else because
No, we would
Right.
never do such a thing.
And honestly speaking, they were doing their best in a situation that probably was not the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, kudos to them on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we got
I'm
some
just
good-
kind of reading through comments really
Yeah,
quick while
That's good.
I'm hanging out.
You
with
should do that because Kevin's not the best at reading them, and I don't actually have a screen to read them in front of me.
Tegan said, Hannie, I completely understand. I was the chair for the Okanagan County Republican Party, population 3.
I was going to say,
Right.
I thought things there were well, except for the last election, which was totally exhausting, and the county party chose to replace me. We
Right.
were exhausted for a reason, and I hope they all recognize that.
Tegan did a good
Yes.
live stream the other day with
Yeah.
a couple of city members, or I'm sorry, state guys that were up there for the Okanagan Stampede.
Yeah. Do
Right.
you think that they understand the energy, the time, the effort, the work that you put in?
You're asking if Democrats understand?
No, but I mean the people that work with her, the
Oh.
people that she served with, the people that are involved in the party that supported her.
I get this question. I get where you're going. I think they do. I mean, I know that I tried to give 100% to the gig. I mean, I always do that when I'm, here I am. I'm here to do something. I mean, I always try to give 100%, and I always try to go the extra mile. And I started out when I came home after Katrina.
Mhm.
Came home, South Kitsap home. I started with the 26th District Democrats because my mom had said, hey, listen, realize that you escaped Katrina, but you ain't sitting around my house.
Mhm.
You're not going to sit here and moan and groan about how awful your life is. Go help somebody. So she sent me to actually, and this is really wild, but true, Charlotte Garita was helping the Josh Brown campaign. So my first experience was doorbelling with Josh Brown in the
Oh, did he
heat
hit you
in
too?
Port Orchard. No,
Just checking.
please. I love Josh. Anyway, so
Got a story for
I
you.
made the mistake of wearing a Husky sweatshirt on a Sunday or on a Saturday afternoon because of, college game day and all that. And the amount of people at the doors were like, you really didn't have to come here with that Husky sweatshirt. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, if you're out doorbelling, please take the time to make sure your outfit is
Neutral.
neutral.
Yeah, there you go.
Very neutral. Thank you
Yeah.
for the word, Dan.
Yeah. No worries, man. You do radio long enough, you catch that brief glimpse of a pause where somebody's trying to come up with a word, and no quicker that as a host you can insert something for them, the better off everybody is.
What is this, Tom?
I don't know, but if you make her a couple more, we might get a few names out of her.
That's what we're all hoping for, huh?
No.
But what is this actually?
That's my take on the dark and stormy.
This is nice.
Dark and Stormy Daniels.
Something like that.
No, I mean, this is
Tastes
really
like
nice.
urine.
It's not overly sweet,
No?
and it's really smooth.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is good.
That's good. Remember, this show is brought to you in part by Black Ring Spirits. You can check him out in the Town Square Mall, bottom floor. Stop in, say hi to Tom, peruse some of his amazing beverages, buy some, take some home.
Have a few samples. Vote
Knock your
Democrat.
fan. Missy said Duck fans are the worst. Missy, we can agree on that completely. By the way, the best video I ever did was me in my all my Husky gear, right outside of Oregon Stadium, Autzen Stadium, where the Ducks play, claiming that as Husky land. And nobody's ever defeated me in battle, so it's still my place. All right, Hannie, is there anything you didn't accomplish that you wanted to? Was there any meat left on the bone? Something that you still wanted to address for the party in the county, besides unseating Caldeer? I mean, and I don't mean that as a shot in Caldeer, but she was the only Republican seat that stayed Republican for so long. You guys took the rest of them, so I would assume that would have been a goal. But is there anything else?
I'm sure I would have had more in mind, say maybe 3-6 months ago. But right now, I am just doing my own thing, and I'm pretty happy with that. I mean,
you're kind of zoning politics out now?
Not totally. I mean, just tonight, I got a phone call from a person who's hosting one of our signs, and he's like, Hannie, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And so I went ahead and made phone calls to get that situation resolved for him. I mean, I do that when people call me or when people ask me, I do that much, but I have a lot going on,
okay.
From my child to my mother. And I try to stay involved as I can.
Now, as much as you love politics, would you ever consider either A, running for an office yourself, or B, like managing a campaign for somebody?
Absolutely both.
Yeah.
I mean, have I thought about running before? Sure. Have I thought about, campaign managing? Not unless you pay me. You pay me for that, because that's a lot of hard work.
Sure.
I mean, I think so. One thing that I think that I really wanted to do and to get done is to help to educate people on what goes on behind the scenes, because, time and time again, I know I have, and I know that others in leadership positions have as well, have gotten people who are absolutely just like, I am so livid. Why did this happen? What happened? Why? And I think a lot of to get that upset and anger down, to be able to educate people on, this is what happens behind the scenes. This is how a campaign works. This is how, this aspect works. And
it's got to have gotten so much harder. I mean, I remember when we started in radio, internet was just barely a thing back in the late 90s, right? You didn't, as long as you vetted and cited like one source, as long as you found your primary source, you felt good reporting on something. Now you vet 4 or 5 sources deep, and then you have to figure out what the political ideology is of the source you're citing. Right. It's like you almost can't trust anything anymore.
Right.
And you have to, every single story or source, you have to take it at the face value of the bent that the reporter him or herself comes from. And, Megyn Kelly did a bit the other day. I don't know if you guys had seen this. And I think she was spot on. She was talking to a girl, a young lady that was a young Republican, and she was going into journalism. And she asked Megyn Kelly, she said, well, how do you do it in the world these days? It's so much different than when Megyn had gotten into the industry.
Sure.
And Megyn basically told her something that we have acknowledged for some years on this show, which is that I don't think we're in the world of true journalism anymore, because I've
felt that for a while.
Every single journalist is in one way or another, whether it's just through their words or their inference as they're talking, right? Every single channel, every single host, it doesn't matter who it is, right?
Right.
You can feel when you're done listening to them, can't you? That, oh, that person's a Democrat, or that person's a Republican, or that person's a conservative, or that person is a socialist, or whatever.
Well, there's no more there's no more factual reporting. It's all opinion based.
Well, the opinion is where the money is at. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's all opinion based fluff that really is just meant to grab headlines
Yeah.
and
So
advertising.
I actually, in high school and in college, I was a journalism student the first time. The first time I went to college. So I wrote for the Ranger. We changed it to the Olympian. We changed it back to the Ranger because everybody was confused with us and the Olympian in Olympia. And then we all mass exodus quit and started underground newspapers in downtown Bremerton. And what our papers covered was all the stuff that the college was pretty much at that time saying, you can't talk about that. You can't write that. And we're like, we just want to write about Bremerton as a whole. And we published 3, 4, 5 issues. And if you actually, amazingly so, if you go to the Hazelwood Library on campus at OC, these the underground newspaper issues are actually in with our regular copies from the Ranger and the Olympian in the archives.
That's cool.
I cried my eyes out because, our only real claim to fame was that Adele Ferguson walked across from the Sun office over to the used bookstore to grab a copy of our paper every time we published. And years later, I'm like, hey, Adele. And she's like, don't take a picture of me. And I'm like, okay, so she does remember me. But it was really cool to know that Republicans, known Republicans, were reading us.
I will tell you. I mean, you'll have to tell me what you think about this, but I think that's been a major something that's incredibly lacking in this community as far as the Kitsap Peninsula goes. Right? It's whether it's the independent radio stations, KBRO, KITZ, right? Poorly managed. Nothing against them or the people that work there. Poorly managed, so they didn't make any inroads the way that they should have and could have. Both of them, both KBRO and KITZ.
Yeah, KBRO was like, by the time my ex-boyfriend was there, they were running pretty much 24-hour automated, and he would just be there overnight to say, hey, welcome, I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually met him. I called in. I'm like, dude, what are you doing at KBRO like this time of night? Yeah. And so I knew him. I knew the manager. I knew a couple other DJs that weren't really, I don't think DJs, because I mean, it was like just automated everything.
Yeah. And that's the way KITZ got.
Yeah.
It got bought and sold and then bought and sold.
Right.
We were caught in the middle of that, all of us. And it just from a community standpoint, right? Like you've got a radio station. It's your major source of communication in the event of an emergency, a disaster, or whatever, right? And that was something that we pushed. Dennis pushed for. We were trying to get all of that taken care of. Couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
And then the county blocked issues with. I mean, it just all of the things that could have been. Right. Here with regards to media for one reason or another, even the Kitsap Sun being bought out by national organization, right? Just all of the things that could have allowed this community.
Amazingly, I have a Tiffany song stuck in my head.
You have a what?
A Tiffany song stuck in my head.
I think we're alone now.
No. Think of all that might have been.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's God,
I
true,
forgot about that one.
And I think that has caused politics to somewhat suffer, right? Because we have we effectively have had no ombudsman, nobody to hold elected officials accountable, nobody to hold certain members of the press accountable. People could go out and say whatever, and now we live in a world where a meme is taken as a fact,
right?
Or one line that somebody posted on Twitter or on their Facebook page then gets regurgitated as a fact. It's just it's insane now. It's just insane.
Absolutely. And so for Democrats and Republicans alike, a lot of what we do is getting out the vote. We do that with campaign signs, believe it or not.
Yes.
We do that with summertime events. We do that by hosting meetings or hosting different things, right? And now it's gotten to the point where we not only have to carry specific insurance because we are a political party, but we have to make sure, sometimes people offer, say, extra terms and conditions because you are a political party. And it is so polarizing. I mean, I have a friend who is an organizer who has called me for years and has been like, Hannie, what do I do? This is going down. And it's sad but true, usually at the hands of a couple of Republicans who think they're power hungry. And so instead of, people like the organizers looking at it like, these are just three jackass Republicans being stupid. They're like, oh, this has got to be the entire Kitsap County Republican Party holding this down. And to a point, yeah, there is some responsibility there. But, trying to get someone to be on their best behavior in a public setting as chair is not the easiest thing to do.
Which is surprising, actually.
Yeah,
you would think that
you
there'd be a
would
sense of
think.
professionalism.
Yeah, and so we all suffer when there's a bad card in the deck or whatever, and somebody decides to misbehave, because then organizers don't want to invite us anymore.
Oh, she knows April
People-
Ferguson.
Yeah, oh Lord, people don't want to invite us to things anymore. People are
Yeah.
upset because, hey, this is a family event, and somebody's being a jerk at your booth.
Oh,
And so
Ace.
the
I'm sorry, went the wrong
optics-
direction with that. Was
well,
Ace Haynes? That's what it was. Yeah.
Ace Haynes has said some really interesting things in my
Hold on.
tenure.
You,
being
know
nice.
what's funny? You know what's funny is
What?
we
You're so
have a
kind.
guy. We got a guy we're friends with. Do you know Rick Eckert? Have you met Rick?
Yes.
He's up on the North
Yeah.
Kitsap, up in the Paul.
It took
He
me a
and Ace
second.
Haynes are like tight as day, man.
No, you're
They are
messed up.
buddies.
though?
They hang out together.
You know
they
what,
go
though?
drinking shots together. They're like
Yeah.
connected at the
I
hip.
believe
It's
that
so
Kevin.
weird, man.
entirely.
Kevin, Rick
Ace
Eckert
can
is going to
really-
kill you.
Ace can really gel with some people. And
Yeah, Rick
and
loves him.
Rick loves him. Yeah, I mean, and Rick's an interesting person in his own right. I mean,
I
I
love
sat
Rick.
with him one afternoon, and I'm like, dude, tell me about your naval hospital story. So we're comparing notes back and forth, and I'm like, that's the best time I've had with you
Yeah.
here in Paulsbo City.
Well, I will.
But yeah,
You know, it's interesting because
Rick said he hates me and Chad.
that's funny.
I haven't looked at chat.
You
Oh,
know,
God.
I as you talk to people about politics in Kitsap County,
Sure.
I always talk to them as you talk about the political rivalries and the heated conversations
Mhm.
and the hatred and the vitriol and stuff that goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Kevin and I disagree on almost everything politically, right? As he's a Democrat, I'm a conservative.
I
You're-
wouldn't exactly call him a Democrat. I would call him an independent at this
See,
point.
all of you. And I talked to Alicia Beeler today too, and she said the exact same thing, that I'm
Thank
not really
you.
a Democrat. And
See?
who else
Kevin.
have we had on the show that said that as
Kevin,
well?
you're not a Democrat.
I'm a
You're
damn
not a
Democrat. I'm
You're
just
not a Democrat. You're a
I'm not-
libertarian.
I'm not the flavor of the week Democrats are right now.
Kevin, you're a libertarian.
I'm a Bill Clinton
Neither
Democrat.
am I, but
But you're
someone
still a
who says-
Democrat.
Someone who says, "Hey, I voted for Trump. I hosted a Trump site in my neighborhood."
Well, hold
I
on, hold
love
on.
it.
That hold on.
What?
Bringing up the
Shots
Trump sign
fired.
in my yard
Shots
is not fair
fired.
because the Trump
I'm
sign was
sorry.
not
What?
my doing to
Click,
begin
click,
with.
pull.
And then the
Yeah,
only
you
reason
know
I
that.
left it
Okay.
there was because the neighbors were threatening to come over and tear it down.
Okay.
And as much as I hated Trump, I hate people thinking they can come tell me what to do in my own yard. So that was bigger
I
than
would
me.
just like to say, though, I do have a picture of you in the Republican National Headquarters, well, Kitsap County Headquarters,
Mhm.
hugging a picture of Trump.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
listen.
Damn.
Kevin.
When you
did
when-
vote for it,
there's a
dude.
When you get
picture
aroused,
around the
public
office
about
that
it.
we'd like
when you
to
get
talk
aroused,
about.
you got to do something. I don't know what to tell you.
You were well.
But-
You didn't sniff his hair, so
Kevin doesn't want to admit it, but Kevin is a libertarian.
By the way, just got a message from Ace Haynes. Ace wanted me to tell Rick, love you, bro. Can't wait to see you. Okay. You are as the county Democrat chair though.
former.
Former.
No, hold on. Let me finish answering the question.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
As the county Democrat chair,
Yeah.
you had. I'm talking past tense. Shut your whore mouth. As the county Democrat chair, Hannie,
Yes.
you had really good working relationships though across the aisle. You
Yeah.
have good relationships with people that are really active in the Republican Party. Dave McMullen, Robert
Yep.
Parker.
Right.
Like, so you weren't playing political one-upsmanship in the sense that you weren't going to burn stuff to the ground. You had good communication relationships with people on the other side.
Right. So, relationship with Robert, I mean, he's the person that when I tell my story about, someone calls me and says, why don't we have community Narcan education in Port Orchard? I dialed him right up, and I'm like, hey, listen, they did this in Paulsbo. They did this up north, and we're the county seat. We have the jail. Why are we not doing this? So Robert in turn made phone calls, and other people made phone calls, and we made a community Narcan program happen. It was held up at Gibbons. Everybody got 2 boxes of Narcan, learned how and when to administer it. And in the end, after that program ended, 2 gentlemen walked in and they're like, yeah, we know you're doing this, but we're really hurting and we need help. And can you help us? And the health department actually said, hey, absolutely.
Were these people that were having issues with drugs?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. And
that's a beautiful thing, man.
It is a
Narcan is something
beautiful
my
thing.
wife bought some so we can keep it in our vehicles because you never ever now the way the world is, you just never know. You could come across somebody at a coffee shop,
absolutely
drops and is having, you think they're just having a seizure, you try to help them, turns out they're on fentanyl.
Right. And so I have always carried Narcan in my car.
Yeah, good,
and
smart.
And my mom's like, why do you got drugs there? And I'm like, Mom, well, other people have questioned that too when they see the Narcan in there. And I'm like, Mom, it's because I've been community Narcan trained. So if someone's in an emergency, I can go and at least try to assist them.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's cool. Well, yeah. Mom,
it really is.
It's
And
a
it's
wonderful
inexpensive.
thing.
It's so inexpensive.
But you can't get it. You got to pay for it if you're gonna
So,
be Good Samaritan, though, right?
I forgot to tell you the other thing that Robert and friends and I accomplished, and that was being able to get Narcan into every police vehicle for the city of Port Orchard, for Port Orchard officers.
They weren't already carrying it?
Well, this was a long time ago,
Okay.
and the chief was a little, he hadn't really totally researched it.
Okay.
But Robert went to him and said, hey, listen, this is how you administer it. It's a nasal spray.
Yeah.
You're not shooting people up. And
Yeah, it's
then
simple
that made
application.
him feel so much more comfortable because,
And the
there
safety of his officers, for gosh sakes.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And needles are, I'm scared of needles.
Me too, amen.
So yeah.
Me too, I'm terrified.
And those are the good things that we can accomplish when we work together. But on other things, it's a hard drive because in politics, we're also very passionate about what we believe in. Like one of my first stories was I used to go down and sit down when I was writing my blog, political blog back when, at the auditor's office during filing week to see who came in because it wasn't published online at the time. You had to watch for people. And I had a reporter from the Port Orchard Independent inform me. He got really, really mad at me. He started screaming at me about, loving John Kerry. And I'm like, you hug the trees. I'm like, I will hug baby seals too, dude. What is your point? And he was just, I guess, trying to goad me along, and I just wasn't having it. But yeah, I mean, oh yeah.
I just want to finish up what I was started saying
Yeah,
earlier, and that is
I'm
just
sorry.
that
Yeah.
I think that you're a wonderful example, as Kevin is, that people can have completely opposite political or emotional or what belief systems, right?
Right.
And you can still have wonderful conversations with them. I can't tell the folks that are listening right now how many great conversations that you and I have had.
Right, thank
Sometimes
you.
they're political, sometimes they're not at all.
Sometimes I'm just butthurt and mad at you.
And you got mad at me once too.
I
You messaged
have.
me.
I've
Yes.
gotten mad at Kevin too.
Yeah, well, that's easy. That's
Yeah.
every
Only once?
woman we know.
You're a woman, of course you get
Yeah.
mad at me. Like
Only once?
What a good time.
I've been mad at Paul numerous times. We still talk.
you've been mad at Paul numerous times in the last 24 hours. So
Probably.
Aw.
Yes, ma'am.
So as a child, down in South Colby,
Mhm.
I lived next door to one of the biggest Republican people of Kitsap County. I mean, they were major donors to the Republican Party. They 24/7, 365, ate, sleep, whatever. And they were the very same people that, even though they knew I disagreed with them politically,
Mhm.
they would be the first people at the door if I needed them. They were the first people if I looked like I was hurt or something. They were the
Mhm.
first people there. They were incredible people, and we recognized very early, as I'm hearing them parrot the very hard right Reagan lines at me, and I'm like, they were like, oh, you don't agree with us, okay, that's fine. And we really had some great conversations about other things, not necessarily politics, but I really learned from them. And I miss them. They're no longer with us,
I
the
got you.
Anderson family. But
Well, I can tell
yeah.
you had a great deal of affinity for them just by the way you're talking about them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've always gone through life. I mean, my parents were Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole thing to get people to get out and vote in South
Mm-hmm.
Colby. They helped elderly people get to the ballot booth. They did these things, and they did that because they've always felt that your vote is your voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And it takes both. You tell me if you agree with me, because
Okay.
I preach on here that it is so vitally important to have somewhat equal representation, right? I mean, it's always going to be a few more of one or the other, whatever, and that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. But because that's what spawns good political debate, which is
Right.
what makes this country stronger. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's the bureaucracy, but it does make us stronger.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem that we're running into, and I know that we're going to shortly get into some of the more, down home kind of political issues.
Sure.
And I was going to bring up, I want to talk to you a little bit about gerrymandering, because that's one of those things, right? We're seeing it's a real hot button issue right now,
Yes,
but it's
it
always
is.
gone on.
Yes.
It's always gone on. And I was hoping maybe you could explain to some of the listeners kind of what gerrymandering is and how much of it do we do here locally?
Okay. I hope I can answer that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. You don't have to answer that right now, but we can get to that in a bit. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I would love to talk about that because I want to explain how that.
yeah, I think it's
the
important.
Process.
It is a process, and it
how
always
you can
happens.
Make as a Washington State resident,
Mhm.
you, my people, can make a difference here. So, please remind Paul to make sure to talk to me about that.
We'll I think we'll bring that up here in the next segment when we
right.
start talking
Yeah,
political
yeah,
issues.
yeah.
But that was one I was hoping you'd really be willing to go
Oh,
into
yeah.
that conversation
Yeah.
with me. It is definitely a hot button issue. We're seeing a lot of that vitriol and hate spewing going on right now over the topic of gerrymandering, and it's kind of funny, right? Because we see it coming. First, we saw it coming, from Democrats out of Texas. Now we see it, the same arguments that Democrats are making in Texas coming out of Republicans in California. So it's kind of it's kind of funny in that regards. Not that anybody here's followed it as you swipe left on her. Yeah, that's good, Kevin.
Shut up, Paul. I'm actually posting in my fantasy football league, you douche. I don't know why every opportunity you have, you take it. Every opportunity.
Because
Hannie, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
As somebody who's connected and in the know and has been involved in all the stuff going on politically,
Uh-huh.
I want to ask you about one specific race.
Okay.
I think Michelle Calder is in deep crap in the Senate race, and here's why.
Okay.
In the primary, she's now losing. And again, the primary is non-binding. There was only
Right.
2 candidates in the primary. They're both going to go to the general. So this is not about final numbers, right? But the final numbers are she's losing by about 1,000 votes to Deb, whatever her last name is. I won't even try to
Krishna
pronounce.
Dawson.
I'm not even going to try. And again, this is not me being mean about Michelle Calder, but the fact of the matter is she has better name recognition in the district. She served the district as the representative for 12 years now.
Right.
She's been active. She's run away with most of her re-elections for that seat.
Mm-hmm.
She never gets less than 54% or whatever, which is a pretty good number in those types of races. And yet she's running up against somebody who's known in Gig Harbor and Tacoma on that end of the 26th. But she's losing. But she's
not in the 26th.
Well, but I mean that the Tacoma end of Kitsap, like the southern end of Kitsap.
Okay.
But she's trailing by 1,000 votes. I would have thought that, especially in the primary, Calder would have had an advantage, and she's losing. Is she in trouble in this race?
Oh, well, I would not call it that because, as you said, the primary is just an indicator, if you
Mhm.
will. But there's a lot of people, too, who don't vote in primaries, who do vote in general elections.
But do you think that favors one party over the other, or do you think it's going to be 50? Because if it's a 50-50 split, then it still doesn't give her the edge.
No, I'm not really entirely sure.
Okay.
I just know that, more people typically, I think, would be turning out for the general election.
Well, I think that's a foregone conclusion.
No,
right?
I would agree. I just wonder if this is indicative of, like, I thought Michelle was going to run away with this,
like I thought. She's been in that seat for a long time, and
I don't understand, Kevin, quite why you're. I mean, you'll have to. If you're only looking at that 1,000 vote difference out of what 46,000 people that voted, right? And there's a 1,000 vote difference. I can kind of consider that in a primary a non-issue, right? I mean, they're effectively tied.
Yeah.
So,
but let me explain why. Because I would have expected that in the primary, when they haven't done a lot of campaigning, and because they weren't out doing a lot of campaigning, they weren't spending much money because they knew that they were both going to make it to the general. So there wasn't a lot of effort put into play. So I would have expected name recognition to have carried a lot of weight in the primary.
But there was effort.
And that not a lot though. I mean, they're going to spend way more time and energy and effort between now and November.
But don't say there's no effort in the primary, because there's active canvassing, doorbelling on both sides every weekend, even on days during the week.
Okay.
All of that. There's campaign events. There's fundraisers. Nobody rests on their laurels from filing week to primary election time. They're out there making themselves known.
So but they're not spending buku amounts of bucks right now at that time, because they knew they're going to get to the primary and they want to spend their money where their money is going to be best spent.
Right. But if I'm correct with the PDC, there's only so much money so there's general money, there's primary money. But that's like big and long, and I don't know that entirely. So don't ask me any further.
So I'm going to say this because I absolutely adore Kevin. I would want him to be the step or the godfather to my children.
Yes.
So Kevin, I'm gonna do this for you because I feel that it's very important. So Tom, do me a favor. Kevin, pull out a notebook and a pen. Take notes on this. It's very important. This is
what's Tom gonna do?
You're gonna make sure he takes notes. It is my deepest heartfelt feeling that this is why you're desperately seeking Susan.
God.
Because you can never put those expectations on women. You've got one woman running against another woman for political office. You got to just drop the expectations, brother. Don't expect anything. Therefore, you will never be disappointed.
I don't understand what you're saying.
You will never be disappointed.
This was not an expectation on either one of the candidates. It's what I thought voters would recognize, which is Caldier's name.
I'm trying to get you to temper expectations when it comes to ladies. That's all.
The bar is really low when it comes to women, man. Let's just be honest. Like right now, the bar is, you're breathing? Can I buy you dinner? All right, that's the bar. But no, listen, I thought people would recognize her name over Deb, whatever her last name is.
Krishnadison.
Krishnadison, is that right? Hannie, is that right? Krishnadison?
Krishnadison.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Krishnadison.
Krishnadison. Now she can't pronounce it either. You're busted, Hannie.
Krishnadison.
No, Krishnadison. Yeah.
Krishnadison.
She said it 4 different ways. Now she's got to work on it.
Yeah.
Deb. We'll just call her Deb. Hi, Deb. I would have figured that Caldier's name would have bought her a lot of good vibes in the primary.
So
that's what I think.
Hannie, does it bother you when I make this statement about this particular race?
Okay.
I think it's important for Michelle Caldier to win, and here's why. Because I think Democrats have far too much power at the state level right now.
Okay, Michelle.
That's my honest take. I'm not a friend of Michelle Caldier's. I've been to the point where I've gotten messages from people basically saying shut up about her,
right?
Because they get pissed off that I called her on the carpet about some things.
I'm sorry.
I have gone to a legislative town hall. I went to a legislative town hall with Spencer and Michelle, and angry guy from Burley gets off his butt and starts screaming and I'm gonna primary you. Hey, Michelle, newsflash, I'm probably gonna primary you too. Woo! All right. And it was really funny at one point because Michelle and Spencer were both like, the only Democrat in the room over there pointing at me. And I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, it was just like, well, you don't vote my way and you didn't do what I wanted. And I'm going to make sure you don't win another election. And I'm like, whew. And, Michelle, to her credit, stomped her heel down and was like, I don't care. I don't hang out with you people. I don't associate with you people. And I don't care.
Did she
you
trip
know,
him?
I have tried to explain this to you, and
Yeah.
you know, I felt like it was the best 60 minutes of Republican whatever I've ever
Dysfunction.
seen.
Yeah.
Let me
I'm there
ask you a
with
question
But
about
Michelle
this.
was just like, oh yeah,
Let me ask you a question about this. Let's say
Yeah.
Michelle loses the Senate race.
yeah.
Does
Did
that
you hear? Hold on. Let's say Michelle loses.
No,
She's like, yeah.
let's say she
All right.
loses that Senate race?
Let's say that.
Does that impact her running for state rep later? Like, does that open a door of doubt in a district where she's been kind of
don't
dug
think
in? Like, you don't think so? Okay.
I don't.
I just
think
wasn't
so.
sure if she loses that Senate race, if that suddenly
You know,
creaks open the door a little bit.
Nah, I would think that if she had somehow lost the Senate race, that she would still run for the House seat.
I would expect her to.
You
No, I would
know?
expect,
Yeah,
but I just
yeah.
does it make her more vulnerable? I guess is my question.
I don't think so.
No, okay, that's fine.
You know, if at first she don't succeed, try
Yeah.
again.
Does that make
what?
you feel better about your buddy Michelle?
No, I think she's doomed.
You know, it's just like for years and years and years, everybody tries to say to me, oh, the 23rd is a safe district because it's blue. And I'm like, nowhere is there a safe district anywhere.
Oh,
Where
wait
do
a
you
minute.
get that from?
Hannie, wait a minute.
Whatever.
You know
Yeah.
as well as I do that the
What?
Republicans up in the North End have no shot at taking any of those seats right now. Maybe in 10, 12 years they might when they get their infrastructure up or whatever. But right now, Ronald Reagan could resurrect himself from the dead in Paulsbo, run for office up there, and he might get 34% of the vote. You know I'm right. Come on, admit it. You know I'm right.
Oh my God.
You know, when you're at the fair, the Republicans had a little guy who morphed from Abraham Lincoln to Donald Trump. He had like two different little outfits. And I was just like, I am perplexed. And he came over to our booth and he's like, oh, hey, Hannie. And everybody's like, Hannie, what is that? And I'm like,
Somebody wearing a costume? Was it Matt Adams?
Yes. No, it was not Matt Adams. It was not Matt. This guy was definitely younger than Matt. I mean, but yeah. Matt in his costumes. Jeez.
Big booty Latinas.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm like, you could have picked anything the hell else. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit odd, but I guess to each his own.
Oh yeah.
I got that. I'm just envisioning the dude in the pig suit in front of the ice station.
It happened, and it's
It
funny.
happens, yeah.
It's funny because the right-wing blogger types, they're like, oh, some man in a pig costume. And I'm like, don't play stupid with me. You know it's Matt. Why are you being so like vague booking it?
Yeah. All right, let's do this. We got to take top of the hour bumper breaks. We're going to take a quick bump of the break. We're going to come back. You want to stick around for a little bit longer? We'll talk some national stuff.
Yeah,
For that?
we'll talk about some of the gerrymandering stuff.
Yes.
They'll get into gerrymandering. Who's Jerry? Have we met him before? Has he been a guest on the show before?
Jerry's my friend in North Kitsap who's listening right now.
And
Hi, Jerry.
there's a Jerry here in the mall that owns the vinyl shop.
Is his name Jerry Mandarin?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
Nope. But it is Jerry. With
Hey,
a
we'll
G.
take a break. Reminder, tonight's show brought to you by the two best friends, Rick Eckert and Ace Haynes. People, let me tell you about my best friend. We're back after this. It's Outlaw.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional. On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplained mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
This is Spike Cohen. This is Jesse Young.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast.
And you're listening to
my friends on the Outlaw Radio Network.
All right, it is the Outlaw Radio Network. We're here with Hannie Baxter, former Kitsap County Democrat Party chair, current friend of the show. Hello, Hannie. Thanks for coming in.
You say current friend, like she's ever not been.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean is, even though she's no longer the county chair, she still is our friend, and we love her. And she's welcome anytime.
Yeah, thank you. You know, my daughter was actually the one that encouraged me to come on show.
Really?
Tonight or the first time?
No, tonight.
Tonight, okay.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah. Mom's like, hey, whoops, wrong person. Amanda was actually like, oh, hey, you should go back on with them. You should.
So your daughter's a fan?
Well, I wouldn't call it that.
No, she just hates you and wanted you to be beat up for 3 hours. That's
either that or
talk up on that microphone. There you go. Thank you.
You know, she's like, those guys are always name dropping you. And I'm like, well,
So she must listen a lot.
she does when I do. Hey, hi, y'all. Anyway,
What's her name? What's your first name?
Amanda.
Hello, Amanda. Thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for being a fan, Amanda.
Yeah.
There you go.
To all your friends.
Amanda. Hi, Amanda. Love you.
Yeah. What's up, Amanda? We
Yeah.
love you too.
All right.
Speaking of people we love, I just want to say hi to Tom's Aunt Nancy. Hello, Nancy. How you doing?
Oh, here we go again.
How you doing, Nancy? Miss your face, boo.
Nancy, your Aunt Nancy listens?
Oh, yeah. She listens all the
God,
time.
yeah.
That's fun.
Her and I have
Yeah.
a
She lives
secret
down in
romance.
Texas and
Oh, does she?
Yeah,
Where does she
and-
live in Texas?
Dallas Fort Worth
Oh,
area.
I lived outside of San Antonio for years.
Nancy and I
okay.
have a special connection. Nancy.
Oh.
Kevin likes to think that he and my aunt have a special connection, but
It's a-
in,
it's
in
a
reality,
special
I think my aunt will probably kill him.
It's a busy signal. That's the connection.
I hate you.
Sounds
Paul.
like a good time.
See, I'm never mean to Paul, like ever. I'm nice. I
Only when
encourage
he's
him.
not here.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay,
He's in
hold on.
studio, and I'm
I'm-
actually happy he's here, so I'm not going to be mean.
Hold on.
But he shows up in studio. The first thing he does is he starts
feel like
leveling shots at
Lawrence
his co-host, like
So-
we haven't been friends for
So-
25 years.
So
Date
I was.
me?
Bubbles, courtesy of my grandson.
I was.
Do you know we've been friends for like 26 years, Paul?
Yeah, yeah.
And you
It's-
still have to be a mean jackass.
because I was
It's so not
driving
nice.
here and something happened. It flipped through. You know how you're like your phone scrolls through videos on different sites when you're.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was driving and it's just so it scrolled through and I was all happy go lucky and I was coming here and somebody put together this mixture of videos. Have you seen the glass bridge from China that goes way out over the ravine?
Yeah.
And it fake breaks.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody put together all of these
Oh.
people's reactions to that.
Right.
And then they put it all together and they showed it. And I'm like, that's what that son of a bitch Kevin did to me. He did that with that virtual reality setup. I'd never worn it before. He videotaped it and put it on the internet for everybody to see me because I have a fear of heights.
I'm gonna
Right.
find that again.
And it was the plank thing.
Oh,
plank.
walking the plank. That thing is miserable.
Oh,
That is horrible.
I was
Oh, I
down,
think it's
I
fun.
was on the floor because I was afraid of falling, and he's
Right.
in there making and so I was totally cool with you. And then on my way in,
Yeah.
that video played, and I was like, "That son of a bitch." You know,
Well-
it's like when you're with a woman, you're married or something, and you wake up from a dream and you like dream that she cheated on you, so you hate her all day, even though you know it was a dream and it wasn't true, but you're still pissed and you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Well, listen, I'm going to play something that
Yeah.
I hope doesn't offend
It's
you.
not me singing Breakfast at Tiffany's, is it?
It is not. No.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Actually, we came across Elon Musk was talking about
No,
Paul.
my God.
Elon Musk was talking about Paul. And there are moments in my life that I just think I could not ask for anything better.
Do I
And
want to
so
know where this is
you
going?
should put your headphones on, Hannie, so you can hear this.
She didn't have headphones.
Oh, she doesn't have any
Here,
headphones.
Hannie,
Nobody-
take mine.
No, I'm right.
Hold on.
Nobody gave
let's-
me headphones.
Let's see if this works. Hold on. Here we go.
believe
This is Elon Musk talking about Paul.
Madden is one weird dude. He's got more kink than Diddy, and he rode on Epstein's plane more than Epstein did. Seriously, he's one messed up dude.
See, that was Elon Musk talking about Paul. I did not make that in an AI program. I did not. I promise.
You
Anyway,
didn't make it an AIparrot.com.
AIparrot.com because it only said it on the screen. All right.
Listen,
Paul,
it was
you wanted to talk
creative, I
about.
give you credit.
You
Yeah,
wanted to talk about Mr. Mandarin. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk about gerrymandering. And
Mr. Mandarin, go ahead.
well, because right now, for those that are following, the state of Texas is gerrymandering, and one of the things that they are doing is if I'm understanding correctly, they are going to take a new census, but they are not going to include immigrants that are here, people that are not U.S. citizens. Now,
I think are you combining two different stories?
Yeah.
So the gerrymandering issue going on in Texas right now is a whole different issue.
Yeah, but there's they are combined in this sense, right? Trump has made it very clear that he wants a new census done, and he does not want people that are here and that are not U.S. citizens counted. Okay, now, Mr. Expert in the Constitution, I'm pretty sure the Constitution actually doesn't clarify that, right?
No.
It just says you got to count the people. It doesn't say that they have to be citizens or not. So I think that that's an issue that's got to be argued out in the courts, and I don't
It's
know
gonna
how
have to go to the Supreme Court at some point.
It's like birthright citizenship, right? There's some ambiguity and some things that are being questioned. And so let
birthright citizenship is in the Constitution.
No, we've been through this, Kevin. Let's not hash
But
that
go ahead.
again.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Don't argue the Constitution with me every time, but go ahead. Every single time, but go ahead.
Anyway, so in Texas, Democratic lawmakers have left the state so that they cannot be there and be part of the new gerrymandering process. And they went to, I believe it was Illinois or Iowa or something like that, right? Anyway, they're talking about getting the FBI involved to go arrest them and bring them back and all this other stuff. So that's part A. Part B is that California and Governor Gavin Newsom has decided he's going to do the same exact thing. Okay. And I think the argument that's being made, if I understand it, and Hannie, tell me if I'm correct in this understanding, is that people in political power believe that, let's take Texas, for example, 44% of the state are Democrats, therefore approximately 44% of the districts should be Democrat. And the same thing, and that's the same argument Republicans are using in Texas, right? It's interesting that both sides, opposite parties, are using each other's arguments. And as a nation, we're watching this going, all four groups are speaking about this with such vitriol and hatred. And like, all four of you can't be right.
Right.
So what is going on? Give us your consensus on it.
So honestly, I am more of a Washington State girl than anybody else. So I have a very basic, vague knowledge, except that I know here in Washington, we have had our own challenges with redistricting. The last redistricting was just a hot dumpster fire on so many levels. But that's why I dropped the redistricting website for Washington State into chat. Because I would like for all of you out there to go and check it out. And, redistricting happens after a census is done.
After the census, yeah.
Okay, so
every 10 years,
Every
right?
10 years, right? So every 10 years, the redistricting commission gets together and they have maps and they're ironing it all out. And if you go back and read through the last time we had a redistricting anything here in Washington State, you may be slightly shocked, but there are things that you as a Washington State resident can do right now, and that's go to the redistricting website and read the information. League of Women Voters during the redistricting hearings actually holds these amazing things where you can draw your own map, and I think you can actually submit it to the commission as testimony for them to consider. But it's a really cool little program, and you can draw out district maps and check out this and that and the other thing. And so I really encourage
That's
people
wonderful.
to go and check that out, because redistricting makes a difference on so many things when it comes to elections and voting.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah, that's why let's talk about
And-
Texas for a second, right?
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett is in danger of losing her district.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about the eradication of a duly elected Democrat representative.
Yeah,
to
and
the
we've
to
had
the
that
Congress.
happen here in Washington State. I believe the girl with the pretty name. What's her name? Starts with an L.
The girl was
Bristol
pretty,
Palin?
or her,
No, no,
or
no,
her
no,
name
no.
is
In chat with Okanogan County.
Tegan.
Tegan.
Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry
Tegan
about that,
Levine.
Tegan. But
Levine,
Tegan
Levine.
brings up a very important point. If you go back and read what Tegan says about how redistricting affects people.
It's okay. I understand why we have districts, but wouldn't it make more sense to make, instead of districts, to make everything based on the counties? Meaning, because right now we're designing districts, and the gerrymandering is a thing, and they'll make it look, like this constellation or whatever to get whatever they want into it. Wouldn't it make more sense to just say we're not going to even do districts anymore? It's all based off of counties.
You use established hard boundaries.
Yeah, so the 26th district would be Kitsap County specifically, not into Gig Harbor. It would include Bainbridge or whatever, right? But then you wouldn't have, politicians wouldn't be able to influence this stuff the way that they are now.
So, interesting you bring that up, because one of the previous maps that was being considered during the last redistricting would have knocked Pierce County side of 26 and given it to the 27th. The 26th would have taken, I think, Vashon Island. And in the 23rd, Bainbridge Island would have gone to Seattle.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Boy, that would have been joyful.
Yeah, right.
Some people
Well, except
say
for
that.
picking
I don't
up
know that I
Vashon.
would agree with you, but yes.
Picking up Vashon would have turned the rest of Kitsap very blue.
Yeah. Although, the
There's
last
like
time
6 people and 27 sheep on Vashon.
There's more than that.
the
There's a
last
lot
time
more
I
than
was
that.
on Vashon, I damn near drove off the road, but I actually saw like big Trump Happy Republican signs, and I'm
Really?
like, where did these people come from? But okay,
I've never been to Vashon. I should go.
yeah, Vashon's a very
Really?
cool kid.
You've never been to
place.
Vashon Island?
I've never
I
been to
love
Vashon.
Vashon. You need to go up there and check
It's
it
pretty.
out.
Hold on, but
Vashon's
what is there to
weird.
do on Vashon?
Nothing.
Well,
Is there like a
there's
main
no
street you can walk
shops inside.
around? Or
Yes,
yeah, okay.
just yeah, my friend works at the grocery store.
Okay,
There's a-
what downtown is better? Downtown Port Orchard or downtown Vashon?
Neither.
Which one's better?
Yeah.
Neither. There's nothing to do in either location.
No, I'm going to disagree with you on that. I
mean, they both have
always for
bars.
the home team, which is Port Orchard.
Well,
But
hold on, Hannie.
I think that we've declined in cool things to do, and I'm hoping that, a lot. I know that we are getting an influx of people with some really cool ideas, like hot dog dudes down the way.
Harbor hot dogs.
Yeah. And then, other. I can't come up with it.
Did you hear
except for maybe Cal Soil down in where the Bay Street Bistro used to be. That restaurant is delicious.
Oh, the new Thai place.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
not tried that yet.
You must go. It's so
Okay,
good.
I love Thai
Yeah.
food. I just have.
So, sorry. As a local person, we're talking
Yeah.
about Main Street, and then
Yeah.
I know Tom's got a question. I heard today that
No, I
Rob-
was going to talk about other food, but
Okay,
carry
hold
on.
I heard that Rob Patonsu, the current mayor of the great city of Port Orchard, what I've heard is, tell me if this is true or not. You're more plugged into this than I am.
I may not be, but okay.
He basically wants to gut Bay Street and put in mixed use, retail on the bottom line, and a whole bunch of condos above it, all the way down Main Street. Yeah, have you heard that? Is that
I have
true?
heard that in the past, but I couldn't confirm it. I have not talked to Rob Patonsu and said, "Yo, what's up? What's the game plan?"
Yeah,
I
we'd love to
think-
talk to Rob Patonsu, but he won't return our inquiries to be on the show.
He won't. Yeah. He just won't.
He won't. No.
Yeah, 1 year we had encouraged Rob to show up for the Martin Luther King celebration that the county holds out at the fairgrounds,
Mhm.
and he totally like never wrote back to us anything. Every other community is represented. They all get up, they all say, hey, hi, we're here. And where's Port Orchard in this? Well, there's no Rob Putanzo to be found anywhere. And so a friend of mine and I actually wrote Rob and said, hey, why is this going on? He never wrote us back, but maybe he's busy. I don't know.
There's too many vowels in his name. Okay, Tom, you were going to ask about.
The only thing I was going to comment on was the plan about the downtown Port Orchard.
Mm-hmm.
There has been talk about having ground level shops and apartments and condos above the street level for years.
Yeah,
I mean that's not just this current mayor.
Mm-hmm.
It's been, good Lord, at least 20 years of that conversation.
I think the only thing that
Isn't
worries
there
me.
already like numerous apartments above the stores that are down there already?
But those are
there's a
like
few.
old school,
Right.
like I mean they're talking
They
like
are. It's a
multi-story condos.
situation of you can rent an apartment and you got to share a bathroom.
yes.
There's a lot of that.
I worked on one of those buildings that had a bar on the ground floor. The bar is gone now. Thank
Yeah.
you, COVID.
Naughty Mermaid.
Yeah.
Not
And
to
then
mention-
there were a couple of living units above it. I did some electrical work in there on one of the mains. Oldest piece of equipment I've ever worked on. The manufacturing stamp on the control box that controls the power into that
We
building.
had to have it done in hieroglyphics.
Yeah, 1899.
What?
That was the manufacturing stamp on the disconnect that I was working on. 1899.
Wow.
Clearly it had been upgraded.
A lot of that down there.
No,
Mm.
it was still the 1899 manufactured piece of equipment that was working as the disc. It's like one of those big Frankenstein knife switches.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they work great. I mean, it's never gonna wear out.
I was there. I'm looking at it and go, wow, what a
Right?
dinosaur this is.
I stepped back.
I'm scared to touch any of it.
Hey, while we're talking local still, although Paul, did you have more in the gerrymandering discussion?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I wanted her opinion, but I do caution people on that issue when they're listening to pundits on TV and stuff.
Right.
And understand there's one incredibly important thing to understand, no matter which side you're on, right? Because both sides are doing the same thing. They're just generating a ton of fear, and it's all based on bullshit. Because again, both sides do it every 10 years.
Mhm.
Period.
Right.
And so all of this fear and loathing in Las Vegas bullshit you're seeing, it's all bunk, because again, they all do it every 10 years, both sides.
What should happen is the respect should be paid to the people, right? I mean, if people choose to live in a county, leave that county alone. Those lines should be respected and quit moving things around. I mean, it's more political. Well, I think you put it perfect, Paul. Bullshit.
Right. And please read redistricting.wa.gov. Please get involved. Every voice counts. The Redistricting Commission has open public hearings. They have people regularly come in and testify. Many Democrats went in and testified not only on behalf of Kitsap County, or our Democrats not only went in to testify on behalf of our county, but also in other locations through Washington State. And you can do that, but it's the fact that you are able to do that. And the Redistricting Commission, the League of Women Voters, would love to hear more from people on when that comes up. So
It's
next
interesting.
census, just know that redistricting
Yeah.
is going to be a thing, and you can get involved and you can make a difference.
So this is going to sound like I'm being a little bit weird about this, and I'm not trying to be, but what I'm hearing is you know, they're like, hey, we want to hear what you have to say. Well, the essence of all you can say is, I either want to be in this district or not in this district, right? I mean, as an individual, that's the only thing that you can say.
Right, but you can give your why. I mean, they give you, I think it's like a minute, 32
What would be
minutes.
the reason you wouldn't want to be in a district? Because you're still voting.
I'm trying to think of a good reason for that.
Uh-huh.
But see, it's more along the lines of we need to be, or for anything I've done,
Mhm.
We need to be inclusive because, this is here, that is here. This is part of our neighborhood, our county, our this, or that. I haven't really written anything necessarily or testified necessarily against a move, as much as I've said, hey, you need to be, this line needs to be here, and for this reason, and this benefits so many people. So
Yeah. One other quick piece of information. Again, I was sifting through because I'm going to ask you about another local race in a second.
Sure.
But Michelle Calder actually got pummeled in Kitsap County. In the Kitsap County votes, she lost by 5%.
Wow.
In Kitsap County. So that's not including Deb, who is more name recognized down south, down towards Gig Harbor.
Sure.
Well, based on the numbers that came in and the amount of money that Michelle Calder spent, I would tend to agree with your initial assessment, Kevin.
Thank you. I was right again.
Because apparently she spent in the neighborhood of $350,000 and over $100,000 more than Deb.
Wow.
And Deb beat her by almost 5%. And in Kitsap.
That being said, I would legitimately say that your assessment about she could be in trouble might be correct.
Yeah.
Now, that also,
why not give Democrats more power? We just had the largest tax increase in our state's history.
Well, you're not going to get more power. They're going to keep their current power
after having the greatest deficit in our state's history.
So I agree.
So, and I don't want to put you on the spot about that because that is not on you.
No.
So, and it sounds like I'm bashing Democrats. In a way, I am. They've been in control since 1988.
Every time Drew Stokesbury, oh my God, every time Drew Stokesbury gets his butt up and says, the last time there's a Republican as governor was the year I was born. It's like, look, pal.
Seriously, he says that?
I do not need to be reminded how old I am, Drew Stokesbury. Thank you for your love. No, thank you.
He was born in God.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. Every time he says that, I'm like, holy shit, I'm old.
Hey, really quick,
Stop it with
one other
that.
local race I want to ask you about, which is the mayor for the city of Bremerton.
Oh yeah.
So Greg Wheeler comes out on top, but he only picks up 48% of the vote, 49% of the vote. Meanwhile, between Jeff Coughlin and Marwan Cameron, if you add their numbers together, they would slightly edge him out for the vote. Is Greg Wheeler in trouble in Bremerton, or do you think he weathers this storm?
That's really hard to call. I am honestly, real quick before we even go that way, I want to thank you guys for having Marwan Cameron on.
Yeah, he did a great
I
interview.
love Marwan. Marwan is a gem for not only, the city of Bremerton, but all of Kitsap County. He does incredible work and he has an amazing story. And I'm just so glad that you guys reached out to him and talked to him. I'm sorry he didn't make a better showing in the Bremerton mayor's race, but both Jeff and Greg
It's the
are
first
really
time he's
strong.
run though, right?
Well, no, this is the first time he's ran
For mayor.
No, yeah, because I think he ran for council before. His previous race was council.
I mean, I know that's one thing that we've learned. You probably have too, even like more than like once you get that itch and you run, your chances of winning your first time out are really low.
Yeah.
So don't give up. Don't quit.
Right.
Stick with it, right? Stay the course.
I have always tried to tell, potential candidates that, for every 9 times you're told no, there could be that 10th time where somebody's like, hell yeah, bring it,
Here comes Paul's comment about why I'm single. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say that's Kevin's dating technique at the bar.
I knew it.
Damn.
But listen, here's my question.
Because that 10th time is magic.
How come the city hasn't hired Marwan? Like, I think about his skill set, his ability to cross bridges, his ability to work with nonprofits, his ability to get stuff done in his community.
Well, if Greg Wheeler's listening,
I was never a fan of Todd Best, right?
We've heard
but like Todd, it was another example, right? Somebody who, at least for a short amount of time, crossed some bridges, got some stuff done, did some stuff.
Burned some bridges.
Why does the city not not recognize the quality and the talents of people in our own community, like Marwan, and contact him and say, Marwan, let's bring you on. Let's hire you to work for the city to help address the homeless stuff. Let's hire you to work in the city for outreach. Let's hire you to get involved because you've got a passion for it.
And that's not a bad idea. I mean, certainly, I would be about contacting people in the city and saying, why don't we do something like that? If Marwan was interested in doing that. I mean, Marwan is doing quite a few things right now. He juggles amazing things.
He's a busy dude.
There are a few people in this county who really, juggle some things. Another person, she's willing to come on is Jewel Shepherd Sampson, who is the head of the Kitsap Black Student Union.
Mhm.
And she does so much for Kitsap. I mean, just miles and miles of different things. But, one of her best projects is the Black Student Union that helps young kids, learn about so many things and get involved. And I've had the opportunity to hang out with the group and talk about politics and why it's important to vote. And I think it's always a great thing to be able to go out and reach out to community groups and say, voting may sound like a chore to you, and I feel you on that, and oh my god, but voting is also the one way that you can truly, your first way to really make a difference in your local community, in your county, in your state. Yeah, absolutely.
We've heard over the years, one of the things that we hear frequently, and I'm curious
Yes.
how you respond, because you probably hear the same thing, which is that when people say, I don't feel like my vote counts.
Right.
You hear that a lot too?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. And to be totally honest with you, I have
She's
felt
like,
that
it's a
way.
Democrat controlled state. Yours doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all stuck, man.
Anyway, how do you tell it to people?
Honestly speaking, and not joking like that, but honestly speaking, there are times too that I have felt like my vote didn't count. Like, I voted for my person and I want my person to win, and my person didn't win, and I'm gonna be grumpy face. But the thing of it is too is that there's only one position, and you have a winner and you have a loser. And knowing that going in and just saying, I'm going to cast my vote for the person that I feel is the best person for the job. I've made a plan. So I know that, primary elections on this day and general elections on this day, and maybe 2 weeks before each election, I'm going to get a little voter's pamphlet. And if I'm really feeling invested past the voters pamphlet, because some of that writing is some crazy, I may want to go attend a candidate forum.
That is an
learn
issue.
more.
I don't want to get off topic,
Yeah.
but that's an issue in our state. Would you agree?
What?
What gets written in the voters pamphlet?
Oh, good heavens. Over the
I hear candidates on both sides complain about it.
I usually did not read them before I became chair because I already knew who was who
Sure.
and for how many jelly beans. But once I became chair, I started reading and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow.
Who writes those? That the candidates do.
do.
Yeah,
The
it's not good
candidates
writing
do.
most of the time.
And so I always try to advise candidates that the first thing you need to do after you say, woo, I'm going to run for something, is get that candidate statement done, have about 5-6 people edit for you.
Yeah.
Because if you write like me, you definitely need at least 8 to 10 editors. Please follow my Twitter account at Hannie Spice. You'll read along and you'll be like, good God, what is wrong with this woman? And I totally agree with you.
And the initiative process as well.
Yes.
The way that those guys, we hear every year from people, I didn't understand that.
Right.
I think that's a legitimate issue that people on both sides have a very solid right to
and
complain
so
about.
whenever somebody throws a board at me, I'm like, hey, I've read this. Now I want you to give me your take on it. And most of the time, the person who's holding the board is spot on with what the board says. But I have ran into people who are like, that's not what that said.
Yeah.
I think you need to go back and read that. Are you being paid to do this? That's not cool.
There have been some legitimate
Yes.
questions with regards to a certain new governor when he was in a different position, and some things that he was forced to defend that we know because of his position he didn't really want to. And as a result of that, there were questions raised about how he wrote things in the voters pamphlet on the initiatives. So I don't know how we fix that.
Right.
But I think it's something that in some way, and that's not a partisan issue, that's just for the betterment of all Washingtonians,
Really quick, Dog Mom asked us in chat. It gets back to what you guys talked about
Yeah.
before about not feeling like you're able to be represented.
Sure.
She said, "How does my participation actually hold any value if I don't fit into the politics of the majority?" And we can expand that a little bit, right? Republicans in this state feel like they have zero voice now.
Right. Yeah.
The legislature, the House, the governor's office, they've all swung pretty hard to the left.
Yes.
And there is little motivation to compromise now if you're on the left because you've got the hammer.
Do you want to know how much? How little motivation there is?
Tell
Did
me.
you hear what the
There isn't
Puyallup
any.
Fair director did?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I think that
we
story's
should
getting.
talk about that because I had to fact check
Yeah.
that earlier today.
Yeah,
I have a copy. I have a
I did
copy. I
too.
posted a copy of the letter that was sent.
Oh, maybe I did hear about that.
I have a copy of the letter
I
too,
know
but
what you're talking about.
there's
yeah.
something that's being left out of that. We'll talk about
Yes.
that. Yeah, there's a big piece of that that's not being told.
Good. Maybe you
fully
can
the
fill me
story.
in on it.
We will. But how do you respond to that? Right? You have, probably, if you go off the last gubernatorial election, somewhere in the neighborhood of 39-40% of this state votes Republican in the last gubernatorial election, and yet they feel like they have 0% representation because of the strength of the left.
Yeah. So let me start with this. I have lived in the South for a period of time. And I think perhaps the thing that most incensed me living in the South was when I was in Mississippi and Haley Barbour and the Mississippi Republican Party literally sent ads to me telling me to vote Republican. And, here's all the things that I need to vote on. And I literally was the only Democrat in like miles and miles in, middle of nowhere, Mississippi. Everybody else was very conservative, very right leaning. And even in Texas too. I mean, I was called the bitch Democrat. I'm like, well, I do have a name. It's Johanna, but okay, you do you. And so, a lot of the time I felt like I had no voice. I had no say. But I think too that if I had opted to not vote at all, that I would have felt worse because I just gave up and didn't care. You know?
But Dog Mom goes on to say, and
Yeah,
I'm just going to read this per quote: "My vote doesn't count. If the person I vote for doesn't win, I lose representation because I'm not liberal.
Right.
I'm Christian, white, and not part of the LGBTQ plus group.
Right.
Dems don't care about my issues." That is a feeling, and you can tell me if you think it's true or not, but that is a feeling by a lot of people that are not on the left that feel like, well, I'm white and I'm straight and I'm Christian. The Dems don't really represent me. Would you agree with that?
I would say I've actually heard from Democrats who have said all of that, and to an extent, yeah, that's going to feel true. Absolutely true. If you're that person and you're like, hey, listen, I'm a reliable Republican voter and I still, there's a lot of Democrats in front of me, and so I don't know really how to answer that except that, don't give up, keep trying, so, and support your favorite candidate, really, because not only is it about your candidate being there, but if you have the means opportunity to support them, whether it's like phone banking or walking around and knocking on doors, or giving a donation to the campaign, or and sometimes, hey, Hannie, I'm still losing though. I'm putting forth even more effort and I'm still losing. But you made that effort.
Right.
You put that effort out there.
But we need to look no further than Tara Simmons, right? I mean, she founded a nonprofit, and the rumors that we've heard, and now I'm going to preface this with rumors, but people in the know, is that some or a large part of the reason why she was booted out of the nonprofit that she started was she wasn't diverse enough. That she was not LGBTQ, she was not a minority, and she was a
minority.
Based on what?
Based on what? She is Latina, I thought.
Oh, okay, maybe I don't know.
She presents as Latina as Kevin presents, Native American.
Hey.
I
Chief, suck
refuse
my
to
dick over here.
comment.
Shut up, Tom.
What? What the hell?
I'm picking on Tom. No, but
you might want to clarify.
It's a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
No, but hold on. But here's the question, though, right?
Yeah.
If there is this undercurrent feeling.
Who's sucking what?
Shut up, Paul. There is this undercurrent feeling that
$20 is $20.
Shut up.
Y'all killing it over there. Let Kevin ask us damn question.
Yeah,
already.
but there is an undercurrent.
Tom,
There
that's
is this
getting mad at
undercurrent
you.
that if you're not a minority, if you're not LGBTQ, if you're not other than white, that the Democrat Party and the liberals are going to distance themselves from you, that's not where their bread is buttered. That's not where the agenda is. And I'm not saying that's true. I'm asking you to respond to that because you hear from people like what Dog Mom said, what we have heard in our circles about why Tara was booted out of her nonprofit. And it begins to be this repetitive narrative we hear. Well, you're white, the Democrats don't like you. Oh, you're a Christian, the Democrats don't like you.
I can't comment on the Tara thing because honestly, I have no
Right.
freaking clue. And even more honest, I don't think I want to know. I think
God
that's
bless you.
just no. I'm not saying that to be mean.
No.
But I'm just saying that
No,
I only
ignorance is
have
bliss.
So much space in my head in a day, and I know Tara can take care of herself and that she's going to do
Yeah,
what
she can.
what she needs to do. And so I don't want to comment on that necessarily, right?
But taking her out of the equation, just this overall narrative, right? That if you're white, Christian, male, or any combination thereof, the Democrat Party is not your party. They are more concerned with checking the boxes. They're more concerned with minority groups. They're not going to be the ones to advocate for you if you're in that list.
Well, I'm sure people feel that way. Absolutely. I'm sure that's the viewpoint that people get. And as for me,
You're too old.
Yeah.
Your opinion doesn't matter anymore. Right? That's what you were told.
Yeah. And a lot of people are told that actually.
I mean, Republicans they're all old.
You're
so,
old. We
yeah,
have
they're
to
all old.
replace you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I'm like, I may be old, but I do still have some value. And if you feel that I don't hold that value, then I'm going to go dedicate my time to other causes and concerns that value me as a person, and I guess catch up with me later.
Right. They're going to put a little diamond thing on your palm, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. Don't you remember Logan's Run?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, they're not.
Hannie, can I ask an awkward question? And you can punt on this.
You went deep on that one.
You can punt on this question if you want.
Sure.
But do you think the fact that you're white played into the decision for you not to be in leadership on the county level?
Racist.
Because no, hold on. I'm not trying to scream racist,
It's a legit
but it is. Some would argue, how can you understand the plight of minority communities if you're not one? How can you understand what they're dealing with? How can you understand the outreach? How can you connect with them?
Right.
If you're a cis white female.
Right. And that's actually a legitimate kind of thing, right? But for me, I mean, I was raised with parents who were firm supporters of the Southern Poverty Law Center. My parents were always invested in just, you need to know about every community that's in your community, every group that's in your community. So I was always being taken to different things around Kitsap and Pierce County and in King County too. I mean, I was the nerd that was at the chamber orchestra for the weekend or the jazz festival in Port Angeles while my friends were going to see Loverboy and Pat Benatar and maybe even Journey. But regardless,
Greatest band ever.
God,
I was a band nerd too.
Regardless,
walked into that
I
one, Hannie.
was not doing that. I was at the art museum or I was at a festival, and my parents really wanted me to have a really big view of the world around me, not just, here in the house kind of thing. And I think that really helped me to understand. And so, when I started actually going and reaching out and learning about other communities within Kitsap County, it was really an amazing thing. I mean, I got to do it because I was chair, but I would have wanted to do it even without being chair because I really learned a lot. Like I've gone to the Filipino community in Kitsap. They're located in Bremerton on the east side. They have an amazing festival celebration every year, and they talk about the Philippines. And I have learned so much, not only about dances and what the typical wear and different foods and different things and karaoke too. But
don't stop believing. Go ahead.
I don't think that was a song they were singing, but whatever. At any rate, I mean, I have had amazing experiences here in Kitsap, just learning about my neighbors I mean, when I came back from Katrina, all I knew was South Kitsap, but I had the opportunity to go to Central Kitsap and learn about what are the issues there. North Kitsap, what's going on there? What's going on Bainbridge Island? And I mean, I like that part about being chair.
But hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to the question.
Please
I asked,
do. Yes.
Because I hear what you're saying. And my question was in no way meant to sound like I think you couldn't do it or you can't commit. That wasn't the question.
Yeah.
But the question is, perception is 9/10 of reality, right?
Yeah.
And so as people in this more progressive, more liberal Democrat Party look forward and they see you as a Caucasian woman in a party that is trying to appeal more diversely, do you think that entered into their perception about whether or not you could do this job?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there's at least 3, 4, 10 people who would be like, dude, Kevin's right. Why are you saying that? And good for that. I mean, I get that. I understand why somebody would say that, think that. But
no one ever says Kevin's right.
Yeah, right.
Damn straight, Dennis.
God bless you guys.
Uh-oh.
No, and I'm not trying to beat you up either. I just
no. You know what? My beating up time has already come and gone. I am on the upward swing now.
This is just casual now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, Hannie, I'm going to come back to what I said in the first hour.
Okay.
It befuddles me that you're not still the county chair. It befuddles me because you have good working relationships.
Yeah.
I can't find anybody who will say to my face that they have an issue with Hannie. I look at the I look at the proof in the pudding of what the elected seats are in Kitsap County.
Yeah.
When we really started focusing on local politics, this was a Republican county.
Yes.
With Chris Tibbs.
When Chris Tibbs and
Can I share something else with you? I have an Ellen Craswell sponge in a frame in my office, and I have even gotten kidney
You're going
punched.
back to when rocks were invented.
Yes, I have even been kidney punched for owning such a thing. And every time, here's what I say, as a child, Ellen Craswell was my major motivating factor in getting involved in why we vote and what's important about it and why I fight as hard as I do. Ellen Craswell, that was a person who really scared me as a child. I definitely am totally opposite from her in her views. I don't
Wouldn't have thought that.
I don't want to speak ill of the departed, but I was always so, oh my gosh, what, how, what? And so that sponge in a frame, as funny as it may sound, is, reminds me of some of, why I don't give up and why I don't give in necessarily. And hey, maybe this is not my track to be taken right now, but you know what? I can still make a difference not being a chair. Yeah, I can. I'm here for my community. When I came home, I had nothing. South Kitsap stood up and said, hey, girl, we got you. And I want to, return that to them.
Yeah, that's a wonderful. You literally did that for all those years. Same reason why we do this show. It's all about our community. That's why we're here. And that's why you did. And I'm willing to bet, I'll put money down on it, that at some point here in the relatively near future, you'll get the itch again and you'll get back into it.
Yeah, it's really nice that not have that continual stress of, this, that, and the other, and crazy things going on that I'm just like, wow,
We had a good, I will say this, if we had a good newspaper group here in this county, they would be listening to this show, and the headline on tomorrow's paper would be Hannie Baxter getting back into the Democratic Party leadership. That'd be breaking news right there on the top. That'd be the headline.
You guys.
No, listen, can I be honest? I would like to see you run for office. I mean, I would like to see you in a position where you're not just supporting candidates, you are on the scene
because you're reasonable.
The change.
People can have a conversation with you, disagree with you vehemently, and have a conversation and still walk away feeling like you heard them.
And I just want to say really quick, hello listeners. Back when when I was young, dumb, and irresponsible, Hannie Baxter.
So Tuesday.
Yeah, okay, that works. I used to write a blog, and I was very heavily critical of the local Republicans. And if you ask Jesse, if you ask Michelle, if you ask even Jan Angel, and you drop my name, they'll be like, "Oh, that girl sometimes, woo," And as I wrote a blog, as I wrote about all these different things, I started realizing that electeds are humans too, and that they can have bad days just as bad, good or bad, as I can have a bad day. And sometimes you really got to respect that, and you got to respect that they have families, they have and some people are just outright assholes. And really but for the most part, yeah, I mean,
You had this friend on Bainbridge Island during COVID was like that. Yeah.
I had a guy call me from Bainbridge Island one night, and he apparently didn't realize he did not hung up the phone.
Mhm.
So it was 2 minutes of, on the Kitsap County Democrats line, him saying what he would like to do to me, and none of it was good.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm like, my God, sir, you have never met me, and you want to do what to me? You need maybe you need some therapy for that.
Oh boy. And things are not getting easier. I think in this sense, like, I'm a firm believer that social media has made relationships more difficult in this country, like personal relationships.
Yeah.
Because people now are so into the instant gratification that they can be a little keyboard warrior, say what they will not say to your face in person, right? The things that they will type out with that keyboard, because cause and effect, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you tell me you think I just, S8 a person, blah, 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 and you'd write that, if you'd said that to my face, I'd knock your teeth out.
Just the other day, I was reading a thread, and somebody said something just absolutely untrue and 120% disparaging about Michelle Calder. And I actually flagged the comment. I'm like, it's one thing to go after Michelle on her voting record.
Yeah.
It's one thing to go after Michelle on actual facts. But when you start adding in words that have never applied to Michelle at any given time, when you add in untruths that I know are 120% untrue, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Being ugly to the point where you're being untruthful and ugly helps no one.
That's
and
right.
It only amplifies the violence. And for heaven's sakes, the very fact that politics are so polarized because people have to be so angry and so just ugly about it, when in fact they could be a little less that. And I get the anger too. I mean, yeah, if stuff is not going my way, if I was feeling frustrated about all the things, yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, you bet. But
and it's okay, right? To be angry. That's passion.
is.
That's passion
It
showing
is,
itself.
But it's not okay to be angry in the sense that you are hurting someone, that you are hurting another human, that you are inspiring another human to hurt humans. And that's where I really have a problem, because we should be able to talk about politics, and even with fellow Democrats. Hey, you know what? I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. We're going to agree to disagree, and let's move on.
Yeah.
Some people can handle that. Some people cannot. But, there are times when I'm like, I'm trying to prove a point to someone, and then they're just like, I don't think I hear you. And I'm like, okay, well, you can only beat a dead horse so many times.
Well, and you're one of the more perfect examples of that. There were years ago we had you on, and Jay Inslee was running for governor. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Because you still give me shit about it too. Where I asked Hannie straight up in the middle of our interview, right? Because I don't even remember what got us on the topic, but I asked her, said, so would you, I think effectively, I'm not quoting myself here, but it was essentially, didn't I ask you if you would vote for Jay Inslee?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm not going to answer that question right now.
You know what, though? I did.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was something like that, right?
I don't necessarily like talking about how I vote. I feel that how I vote is my business, not your business. But I did vote for Jay Inslee. I've known Jay for years, and I've known Jay as.
Have you had a real like conversation with him?
Yes.
Did you feel like Kevin did that the IQ was considerably
did you
lower
lose
than as
IQ points
advertised?
for that?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No,
because the
you
only time
know,
I met him, he
I
was.
want to say one of the best things that the last dinner that I hosted as chair, I had Jay and Trudy attend, and it was amazing. And I had Jay and Trudy at my table.
How'd you survive? I lose IQ points just listening to the dude on the news.
Survive?
Did he show up on a
my
Segway?
gosh. So Jay's campaign gave me car magnets. And I was like, nobody's going to do a car magnet around here. I did have somebody carrying a car magnet for a bit, but I had these car magnets and I kept telling his campaign, hey, take these back because people know you have to keep them handy. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm going to get these back to Jay because mementos of your years in office, right?
He stuck them to his
I had them right
forehead,
there
didn't he?
next to me at the thing. And I had both of them, and I gave them back to Jay and Trudy. So,
Did he
yeah.
stick them to his forehead?
No,
Oh.
really.
Car magnets, or as Jay Inslee calls them, those things that stick on cars.
Oh, you're so mean. No,
I'm sorry.
Jay,
I can't
one of
stand Jay
my
Inslee.
Big planks for me
Yeah.
is the environment. I mean, I grew up on Yukon Harbor. I am a wind sailor. I learned how to swim at South Kitsap Pool because my parents were tired of throwing crap off the boat for me to float on because I somehow fell off the cockpit. So with that and rowing out in Yukon Harbor, I mean, my parents were very big on environmental issues. And over the years, the beach has dramatically changed.
They absolutely
so
did.
there are things like seaweed and kelp, especially.
They're indicator species.
Yes. And they're declining, and kelp is important, to feed the species out in the water.
When you were a kid growing up, and during certain times of the year, you could go out on the ferry or on the water, and you would see the huge millions of moon jellies coming through. Right? You don't see that anymore.
You don't see that no more.
Nope.
No.
And amazingly, kelp being brought up during this show, and Paul bringing up Logan's Run months before.
Yeah.
And kelp, an important part of Logan's Run in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
There you go. But so anyway, Greg Nance and I, Greg Nance being someone you guys need to have on.
We tried. Doesn't respond to our messages.
Yeah, no. You tell him I said he.
Can you call him?
I would
call
be
him?
happy to call him. He's going to be doing a run from the somewhere north all the way down to Louisiana along the Mississippi River. He ran across the country.
He's Forrest
for youth
Gumping
mental
it?
health. Yes.
Damn.
I told him that.
Did you?
I told him that when he had told me about jogging across the country, and without a didn't even think twice. Well, yeah, pretty much
And
was.
I was
But
running.
he was raising money for youth mental health, and that's one of his big things.
That's cool.
And he has an amazing story. I think y'all should hear from him.
No, we would love to.
Yeah. So
Isn't
anyway,
he friends with Rick too?
Yes,
I think is that what it is?
I think so.
I think my wife
Greg
used to
and I
work with
spent
him.
one morning up at Kingston High School, and we got to talk about the kelp bill within the legislature and with DNR to help rebuild those kelp forests and get necessary food to the little species out there in the Salish Sea. And it was just amazing. I mean, the kids at the school were just, wow.
I'll never get
kelp.
used to calling it the Salish Sea. It will always be the Straits of Juan de Fuca to me.
Yeah, well, the Salish Sea would be all of Puget Sound.
Yeah.
So.
Now, see, you just changed it again. Okay, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
You're welcome.
And Mount McKinley. Okay.
Just remember,
Gulf of
it was a
America.
Salish Sea inhabited by my ancestors long before
Yeah.
you
There
white
you
people changed
go.
it.
So that bring and
Because
that's
my
something-
tribe is in Anacortes, so that is Salish Sea up there.
that brings up an interesting point. You're talking about the environmental stuff, right?
Right.
I spent 10 years at the Marine Science Center in Paulsbo working with children on
Yeah,
on
I
marine,
love that.
marine issues, right? I was on
Yeah.
the board of directors, the whole bit up there. Really enjoyed my time. And this was before I got into politics and really understanding the differences, right? I got really angry at politicians. The first political issue that I got involved with up there, we got called at the Marine Center to go up to the Macaw Reservation.
Yeah.
Because they were hunting. They reinstituted the gray whale hunt. And all we were there for was to just basically issue an opinion. I think they wanted us as a
Right.
stamp of approval, right? I don't know jack squat about the politics of the issue. I was a young man, and I naively made the comment, well, if this is about their culture and their heritage, why are they using a helicopter and a 50 caliber rifle? I thought it was a reasonable statement. I was promptly asked to leave, right? That was my first foray into that world, right? But then I began to realize how much politics was BS, because here I am again working with kids on environmental issues. We're talking about the environment. You care about it. I care about it, right? And I'm sitting there looking, have you ever gone scuba diving after the gooey duck farmers came through, which are almost entirely Native Americans? They completely eradicate a region, because what they'll do is they'll use their water cannons and they'll spray it at the base of an area that's at a slope, and all the mud comes down and exposes the gooey ducks, which are 2 to 3 feet underground.
Right.
And all that mud, it's anaerobic, right? It's dead, and it comes down and it smothers whatever's underneath it. So it not only destroys the area where the gooey ducks were, but it destroys the area that's underneath it. It does massive environmental damage. You go out off of Keyport. Okay,
Yeah.
I was one of the people that fought for and got the rights to the gray whale that died there. Right, the gray whale died because it ate a mouthful of batteries that had been dropped off the pier from Keyport. It had died within minutes. Right, it just poisoned itself. It was really sad. Turns out it's a super fun site now. So you go diving from there, from Agate Pass, from the bridge all the way down to Illahee, and it's dead. It's dead because the eelgrass beds are gone, the kelp beds are gone, everything's gone. Because
the same thing's true about Hood Canal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my only point about all that is that folks like you, like conservative American, hello, and people look at me like, what do you mean you're environmentalist? Fuck you. We've only got one environment to live in.
Yeah.
And we're all living in it. We all want to conserve it if you have half a brain. But yet the big issues that are pressing and they're right in front of us, we get zero action on. Just nothing happens about it.
It's really funny because, I mean, there are some conservatives who do embrace some more democratic issues, like you say, environmental issues and that, and, I have talked to a few Republicans who are really worried about, drugs in our community. And that's because, hey, it's affected people in my family.
Have you seen what cocaine does to a great white shark? Imagine what fentanyl does.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the big thing with Bob, or with the no funds for the infant home.
Yes.
That's something that I actually, I had an opportunity to talk to Michelle directly about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm sorry I didn't have an opportunity to speak, but, I'm really a proponent for those homes, and here's why. I mean, I spent a good 3-4 years in foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first, so when I first came to foster care, 2 little children were there with me, and one was a little 3-year-old girl, and then it was an infant boy, and they were both covered in cigarettes and burn marks. The little baby boy was drug addicted and belt marks up and down. I mean, I was just, as a 15-year-old, I am in a state of shock. I have never seen this on a little kid ever. And I'm like, who in God's green earth would do something like this? And so we spent a lot of time passing the baby back and forth because, they tend to shake a lot and just feel really confused, I imagine. And we just held the baby a lot. And I was just like, man, we have got to do so much for our kids. And my experiences in foster care have really, really taught me that, we need to seriously hardcore invest in our children.
Yeah. So you weren't happy with the governor's decision to withhold those funds?
I know that we have to make pay cuts here, there, everywhere. I mean, that's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's affecting, babies who didn't ask for this, babies who did not sign up for this.
Did you get the impression that was kind of maybe a middle finger because of the politics surrounding it and the loss of federal funds?
No.
You didn't get that impression? Because I sure as the hell got that impression.
I would imagine others did, but I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, it's, I remember one year where the state made cuts to, it would have affected Peninsula Community Health Services.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a woman coming in and just laying hard into Derek Kilmer on why did you do this? These are people who need these services. You were responsible for cutting this cash, and and Derek, being the Derek that he is, just stood there and listened patiently and quietly, and then started talking to her about, sometimes we as legislators have to make cuts to programs that we certainly don't want to. Yeah.
All right, we're going to do this. We're going to take a bumper break really quick. Top of the hour, we'll take a 2-minute break or so. More with Hannie Baxter. We'll get into some more national stuff too, because Trump is in the news. We haven't talked about Trump much at all.
No, we
And
haven't.
I know that Hannie is so excited to talk about her president.
Oh, yes. Gosh.
By the way, another message for Rick Eckert. Rick, Ace Haynes messaged me and asked me to ask you to please pick up some baby formula and some diapers on the way home. So I don't know what that's all about.
At
Rick,
least it wasn't baby oil.
But well, I think they got a lot of baby oil from the Diddy going out of business sale. But we'll find out. We'll ask. Outlaw Radio. Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Rain Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Rain Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Rain Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional. On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
At the Outlaw Radio Network, Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
You older people, I know you're getting a little edgy right now, but you better get into me because I don't want to bum you out, but I'm the future of America.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.
It's kind of stony, huh?
It's the real thing. A radio signal from another world.
The United States government presents
The Outlaw Radio Network.
To provide guidance to mankind.
All right, Outlaw Radio. We are back. Hour number 3.
We are back.
7-hour show tonight, by the way. So we'll be going for at least another 4 hours. Another 4 hours. We'll go till 2 a.m. It'll be all right. Sure. I got tomorrow off on the day job, so I'll go as late as y'all want to.
The rest of us might
do you have the new Madden at your house yet?
Do I have what?
The new Madden at your house yet?
No, the new Madden's not out yet.
Yes, it is.
When did the new Madden come out?
The new Madden, the new college is out. Dude.
No, the new college is out. The new Madden
Both
is not
are out. People that have early downloads, I guess, got it.
It doesn't come out till August 14th.
Yeah, it's early releases, man. People already got it.
They got it on the 7th. Yeah, you're right. So the people who had the 7-day early release with the digital, but I don't do digital content. I want a physical disc in my hand if I'm going to buy a video game.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
that's hard nowadays.
I will tell you right now, though, that college game is effing legit.
Yeah, I've seen
That
a lot of good reviews.
That NCAA football game is
And that's
effing
I'm not a huge fan.
legit.
I'm not big on the NCAA thing because
I love it.
I don't follow college teams. It's too much of a clusterfuck to follow.
But the energy in that game, I'm talking the game specifically, not college football, but the game itself. They bring in all the traditions and all the fan stuff, and it's a great game.
Imagine
that. And by the way,
so we have teams that just suck on the regular.
Well, again, I mean, it is what it is. But look, as I posted a photo screenshot of proof that it really happened.
WSU, didn't you post something? WSU even sucks on college.
Hey, I knew that's where this was going.
The Huskies beat Washington State 34-20 in the Apple Cup, and video games are a reflection of life, man.
Tom's about to make everybody move in the hallway.
True story, by the way. True story. If you look up Wazoo in the dictionary,
don't start with this, Chambers.
It's just a photo of diarrhea.
Don't start with this.
It's just a photo of.
Don't start with this, Chambers.
I don't.
And you look up diarrhea in the dictionary, and there's a photo of Journey.
Oh.
Wow, Kevin has never glared at me this long.
I'm not even making fun of you. I haven't even picked on your team yet today.
Oh, but you're going to.
No, I wasn't going to, but now I'm going to have to.
You will at any given point.
Do you know what happens if you look up LA Chargers in the dictionary? Nothing. They're not in there because they're not even worth being included in the dictionary.
No.
All right. Let's go back to our guest. Hannie Baxter joins us in studio. What up, Hannie?
Hey, I'm just cleaning the floor.
I guess did you make a mess over there?
I can go.
It was Lori's fault, right?
Go grab a mop. Don't worry about that.
That was a mess that was there when she sat down.
Yeah.
Oh, that could have been from the dog bowl.
From the couch moving.
So let me start off then with one of the Trump topics, and then I want to ask Hannie her thoughts on this.
Okay.
So 2 days ago, I think it was Thursday, your president of the United States, Donald Trump.
My president.
What he
Your
is?
president, yeah.
You've
But
never
you know
denied
what,
that he
though?
was your
No,
president.
no. Although I did not vote for Donald Trump,
Mhm.
I did not support Donald Trump.
Mhm.
He currently is the sitting president,
He
so
is.
that does, yeah.
Well, I actually have audio. We actually pulled audio. Let me play this for you really quick. Hi,
Like I'm gonna
my
hear it.
name is Hannie Baxter,
Uh-oh.
and I fully endorse Donald Trump for president.
That never happened.
All right.
So he finally made good on a promise that he had made during the election cycle, and this is one of his promises
Yeah.
that I'm a little bit surprised he did this, but I think it's one of the best moves that he's made so far, and that was that he has authorized our United States military to go after the drug cartels. I think it's one of the best things that he could have done. Now, I understand that the president of Mexico is like, hell no, you're not. You're not violating our, border and this and that.
Right.
But if I'm the president, I do not let that stop me. I mean, those groups are a clear and present danger to everybody on both sides of that border.
But haven't they always been
Yes.
a clear and present
Absolutely.
danger, and
Couldn't
they
agree
continue
more.
to be?
Yep.
But
But I think here's the issue now. It is morphed, right? They've
Yeah.
always been a danger. They've always been there. This isn't about them helping illegals across the border. This isn't about their marijuana or cocaine trade, right? This is about one drug specifically that kills massive amounts of people, and that's fentanyl.
Mhm.
And because the fentanyl issue changes everything, right? Because if you OD on fentanyl and somebody comes up to help you and you've got enough fentanyl in your system, which is
Right.
likely,
Yeah.
you can kill that person for trying to help you. This redefines an indiscriminate killer.
For me, okay, and this is my personal fentanyl example. As you can tell, I am an amazing hot mess, and I am an amazing hot mess because I had bariatric surgery at a military care facility in 2001, and we were all more or less guinea pigs.
Right.
So
back then, now that Kevin's had it done, they get it pretty good, huh?
I actually have a really cool new hotness surgeon who swears he can fix me. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Nice.
Not so excited. I got to do everything out of the Allen Moore ER, but those are the breaks.
Right.
Anyway, with saying that, at one time I was on a pain management program that involved fentanyl.
Okay.
and it was like fentanyl patches, and they even had like fentanyl lollipops that looked surprisingly just like those little dum-dum lollipops.
I had a customer of mine that used those for his brain
so
cancer.
even back then, I felt, I was like, oh my God, imagine a little kid. Oh, look, it's a pineapple dum-dum, and and they're in some serious trouble. And I'm like, as long as it's looking like something that a child would be very interested in, I have a real serious problem with that anyway. But I was also on the transdermal patches too. And with the transdermal patches, it's a continual, but you don't always, there is that where you don't really, or for me, I didn't really feel it working or not working.
It's an incredibly
there's
controlled
that-
dosage too.
Yeah, there's that urge to want to, let me put, not that I did this, but there's this
You don't have
urge
to bullshit the listeners.
No,
Handy's like, I
seriously,
never did it. I swear to God, I never did it. I'm just
Seriously,
suggesting.
I would not do that. But more patches because you're not feeling pain relief necessarily. Because every day is different. One day I may be able to walk and I'm just doing peachy and not a care in the world. And day 2, I'm like, you want me to get up and what? I can't move.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for some time because my body's
I mean,
literally
you're
much
not
disintegrated.
comparing medical fentanyl to the currently produced synthetic stuff. That's
Now, I was on medical stuff,
Right.
but the synthetic stuff, I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched the Discovery Channel and any of them cool shows where they show how they produce drugs, but I mean, people add crazy stuff in there.
absolutely they do.
People
Yep.
do. I
Yep.
mean, I have a cousin right now. Well, I don't know that he was involved in an explosion, and
She
I'm
says it so
praying for
casually.
him. Well,
Good. I'll pray for him too.
Yeah, I don't know what was involved, but I'm praying that was not it. And I pray.
Did he have a history
lot.
with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm praying so hard for that baby. He's so smart. That's the thing too.
Chemist.
He's so smart. He's so talented. He could sit there for 10 minutes and tell me why Sweet and Low was not the sweetener I wanted to use and really have some amazing facts behind it. And I'm like, why aren't you going somewhere and using that talent and not, obviously you researched to get there, and it's really hard to talk to people who have already been so beaten up and are so low and just don't feel there's a way out of that.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
don't see that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just, God, that I am really scared of the fentanyl, whether it's synthetic or not so synthetic,
It
because
is a serious
it is a
threat.
very dangerous drug, and I guess I'm lucky, not lucky, that I can speak from a personal perspective on that. But
I think it's interesting because again, a lot of people can't.
Yeah.
And you can speak to it on the medical side for your own pain treatment.
Right.
And so you have that familiarity, right? And I think so. It's interesting because I saw somebody when I posted the article about that, one person posted about it. They were like, how could anybody be against this? And I do understand that some people are, and I get it. And I respect those opinions because it's a valid argument, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're encroaching on another country's sovereignty. Okay. You know what? Legitimate point.
Right.
Legitimate point.
Right.
But having said that, as a nation, we've never let that stop us when we're in danger before. And I think that I think that the worst mistake the cartels made was they got cocky, basically, when Trump said, if you don't stop the fentanyl flow across the border, we'll come after you. And so they started doing a whole bunch of videos, basically, okay, well, that's cool. We're armed. We're ready for you. No, children, you are not ready for the United States military. When those guys come after you, it is game over. You'll be working in a car park. So I have a great deal of confidence because I understand and know their capabilities. And I do personally think, look, I understand that it would piss off the president of Mexico. I think a lot of Mexican citizens would be cheering, right? Because their lives have been made miserable by the drug cartels.
I have not been to Mexico since, maybe, let me think about that.
Last time I was there was
2001,
okay.
2002.
So a little bit
And
before
we
I
went
was,
across at Matamoros, and I actually, this man was selling blankets, and he just would not take no for an answer. So then he looks at me, and I'm like, dude, I'm really not interested in a blanket. And he's like, for you, we have large blankets. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell no, you did not say that to me. So I go tearing after him, little fat girl running through the shop. I'm going to kick your ass. And, yeah.
I am laughing with you.
Yes.
let me give a counter to this though.
To Trump going after the cartel.
Yeah,
or Hannie in the large blanket.
No, I'm not even going to touch on Hannie in the large blanket.
Okay, good idea. Smart.
I don't think there's any way that Trump can deal with the cartels without some Mexican government cooperation.
Right.
Because if he goes after them, it's gonna have to be a pretty large scale.
What?
I would.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I mean,
no,
aren't you talking at least a couple hundred troops?
No, how long have the cartels been an issue? Long
Forever.
before
Decades.
The fentanyl addiction has taken
Right.
Like
and
decades.
right now, the fentanyl addiction in the United States is ridiculous. I'm dealing with an overdose right now.
It is. You look okay.
Yeah.
A personal.
Oh, somebody else.
Yes.
Not his overdose.
That overdose that died.
Okay.
You look okay.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I'm not disagreeing whether he should or shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't know how feasible it is to. I mean, you're theoretically talking about going hundreds of miles into Mexico.
So you don't have to. Our technology and capabilities create a situation now where we don't have to send a large force anywhere. We only have to send a couple of guys.
It doesn't really matter though, because if we go over the border without permission from Mexico, technically it's an act of war.
Yeah.
What's Mexico going to do about it?
Well, but that's, that's not the question.
I would
that's not the
suggest
point.
to you that we should not put it past. You've got the president of Mexico who's a far leftist and has made her dislike for Trump very clear. She has dropped hints that there are subjective reasons why she can't allow President Trump to go after the cartels, right?
Sure.
So what does that say to you? To me, it says, I can't tell you publicly to go after the cartels, but behind the scenes, I'll gladly tell you to take them out, right? That's one thing that wouldn't surprise me if it happens. And the other part of that, again, with you have special operators. You know what operators are? Tier 1 operators are.
Yeah.
Okay. You can send a group of tier 1 operators over there and they'll have everything at their fingertips.
Yeah.
They don't have to go into a compound. They'll sit on a hill 5 miles away with high-powered binoculars. They'll do the dirty work from there.
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How would you respond if Mexico did the same thing? They realize that there is somebody in Utah that is funding
right-wing KKK
or something, right? That is funding something impacting.
No, I can picture them, white hoods, the whole bit. Yep.
Or whatever. Somebody who is funding something that's impacting the Mexican government. And the Mexican government's response is, we're going to get some of our tier 1 operators and we're going to send them over there and they're going to operate a mission out just outside of Salt Lake City.
I don't accept your premise, because the difference is that they are making life as miserable for people in Mexico.
Hold on. I understand.
He's giving you a hypothetical.
But I'm giving you a hypothetical, and the hypothetical is this is a big deal to us.
Right.
And so we're justifying us sending our troops into their sovereign land to deal with that. And I'm suggesting, what if Mexico felt the same way? They were impassioned about something that was on our side of the border, and so they opted to send a special forces team in. I think
plural marriage.
I think you'd lose your shit.
We're going after the Mormons, right? The Mexicans don't like Mormons now.
I'm being serious though. I think you'd lose your shit.
Your premise is bunk. I love you, but the premise is bunk. Here's
don't answer the question. Then. Okay.
I'm gonna answer the question, but you gotta compare apples to apples here.
Okay.
You just said, that they're doing something against Mexico. That's not what the cartels are doing. The cartels aren't just doing things against the United States. They're doing things against Mexicans as well. And their own nation.
Hold on, you're missing my point though. My point is, I'm not arguing the schematics of what they're doing.
Right.
My point is, the Mexican government feels like they need to intervene in some way on the American side of the border, and they don't
would
get
it be
Americans.
Something we couldn't do, because that's also part of this equation.
I don't know. I mean, we could do whatever we wanted to do if we were going to do it. But let's say that Trump said, I'm not going to. Trump said, this is not my fight. I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever, for whatever reason, The question is still the same. If Mexico took it upon themselves to interact on this side of the border without Americans okay to come across the border, without the US's permission to send troops over to deal with something, you'd lose your shit.
Well,
there is something sovereign about the border. You know what I mean? There's something
There is
sovereign about
now.
having your own nation.
There is now, right? There wasn't just a year and a half ago.
Well, that was a break. That was a lapse in reason with the Biden administration,
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I stand by. I mean, the same thing. It technically would be an act of war.
So I think that there's a lot hinging there on an act of war is whatever is declared an act of war, right? By any sovereign government.
Right.
So if we go over the Mexican border,
but
we send tier 1 operators over there. Let's just say we send a couple of cruise missiles to take out a hub of drug dealers.
Technically,
right?
also an act of war.
If Mexico declared it so.
Right.
Okay. So here's the thing: if you're Mexico, and the issues that you've had with the drug cartels, okay, now as the Mexican president, you've got to stand up to Trump. So you've got to put one public face on.
Yep. And
you've got to have another face in private. Right.
Right.
That's a political thing. Every politician
yeah.
does that, right?
Yeah.
Hannie knows it, right? So I think that you very well may see public pushback from the president of Mexico, but I think behind the scenes, she is going to go, "Thank you, Jesus, Mary, Mother of Joseph," right? Because she don't want those drug cartels there any more than anybody else does.
Right.
I don't believe you at all, though, and here's why.
You don't believe me? Well, you don't have to believe me.
Because I think that the president of Mexico has made it clear she despises Trump and everything he stands for.
I agree with you.
So
on that,
publicly, she will fight him on everything he does based off of that premise.
And she may, but this is one of those situations where it is a clear and present danger to the citizens of this country.
But so
fentanyl.
Yeah.
It's the cartels that are moving the fentanyl across the border. Now we have customers. And
Right.
as much as we've tried to stamp out the customers,
But,
that hasn't worked.
Something that Angie has mentioned here
Yeah.
that I would kind of want to mention as well is Big Pharma as well.
Oh, don't get me going on that one.
I don't want to throw more stuff on the fire.
Yeah, well,
but I mean between the cartels and
Yeah.
the Big Pharma,
Mhm.
and I think there's a lot of problem.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're correct. She's correct, right? But
Yeah.
Big Pharma's a different issue.
Big Pharma is bought and
Pharma's-
paid for all of our politicians.
Hold on. Big-
Almost every one of them, huh?
Big Pharma is not the problem.
Big Pharma is a
Hold
huge
on.
problem.
Here's why
Yeah,
Big Pharma
because-
is not the problem. The problem is that doctors are being paid by Big Pharma because the law allows them to be paid to dispense the products.
Right.
Yeah.
So Big Pharma is literally capitalism personified. So if you want to fix the issue with Big Pharma, then you need to pass legislation that says Big Pharma cannot pay doctors to prescribe medications. And if you did that, a lot of this would dry up.
Some personal experience on that too is that when I was seeing a doctor in Tacoma, seemed like every time I was in there, there'd be some drug
Drug rep.
Oh, I brought coffee for y'all, and then it was like, oh, I brought you lunch from Panera.
Mhm.
And I finally I went into my doctor and I said, for as much time as I've sat here, for as many pills as you've given me, I think it's high time you tell the drug reps they need to bring me lunch and coffee too, at the very least.
Yeah.
They
I'm make
the
big
person
bucks for new
taking it.
prescriptions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We've made a history in this country of allowing people to do immoral, illogical things for money and then playing it off like it's somebody else's fault. If I'm a drug company and I'm allowed to do it, I'm going to do it because it affects my bottom line. It's making me money. And if you shouldn't be doing it because it's immoral and wrong, then the federal government or the state governments need to do something to regulate that. And they're not.
Then
And
we
it's
need to
easier-
take away those lobbyists so that we don't have Big Pharma purchasing our politicians, because that's the problem right now. That's why they get to do what they want to do. They've bought the politicians.
Folks, this is
I'm all for publicly funded elections.
This
by
is
the way.
this is the problem with live radio when you got a lot of people passionate about issues. You start off by
Yes.
talking about a potential attack on foreign drug cartels, and somehow you morph into discussing prescriptions to a doctor from a doctor's office.
No,
But my
but
question
you,
is,
Paul.
this
Yes,
isn't
Dennis.
live radio. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
It is.
It's a
kinda.
live podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So-
different.
You know what, Dennis?
Yeah, you should read some of the comments in chat.
Radio fired
because,
me, remember?
Jay Andrew
They
put
sold the
something about
station.
letting the hillbillies run loose or something.
Jay Andrew is a funny guy.
He is, but yeah, there's all sorts of fun commentary here in chat.
I wear
Oh, yeah.
bifocals. I can't read them on my phone.
Dennis will never
Yeah.
fire you, just so you know.
I
Look.
don't have my reading glasses. I'm just kind of winging it.
But listen, here's again, getting back to this thing with Mexico, right?
Yeah.
You cannot just send U.S. troops into somebody else's domain and deal with it. I think
I'll you know what my answer to that is, right, Kevin?
What?
That's not reality. We do it all the time.
not to the level of what we're talking about doing in Mexico.
Well, we don't know what the level would be in Mexico.
But we know it would have to be a significant level in Mexico because we're talking about thousands of cartel members down there.
Yes, but you don't have to take out thousands of cartel members.
You got to take out a big number of them because you chop the head off the snake. It's just going to grow another one.
Yep. And it's just it's like it's this. You would handle it the same way we handled ISIS, or the same way we handled the Taliban, right?
We carpet bombed the crap out of them.
No, we did not carpet bomb ISIS.
We did not.
No,
Okay.
because they were interlaced with way too many civilians that we were trying to save. The Yazidis and others. Yeah, that's not what happened.
I'm going to say something that nobody's going to agree with.
Oh,
And
you're in love.
And people in the chat are going to lose their minds.
okay.
No, he's
and
getting
it's totally
married.
fine. Here's what I would suggest we do. We tell the Mexican government, you will secure your northern border and you will deal with the issue with the drug cartels, or we are invading. The sanctity of the nation, the safety of the nation has to come first.
Kitsap son. News tomorrow.
I'm just telling you.
Says invade Mexico.
I am saying invade Mexico because if you look at the overall damage of the country, the threat that it poses to the population, to America's youth, to people, to crime on the streets, to drug infestation across the country.
I'm surprised he hasn't said nuke Teotihuacan.
I don't know what Teotihuacan is.
It's a city.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. That narrows it down. I'm just saying, you go to Mexico and you say, you've got 6 months to start figuring this stuff out. If you don't, we will invade and we will set up a DMZ. We'll set up a 10-mile wide DMZ on your side of the border.
That would certainly cut down an illegal border crossing, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. It would make it much harder for them to get drug cartel members across. It'd make it much harder for them to dig tunnels.
Yeah, they ain't digging no 10-mile long tunnel.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you tell them, look, that's what we're going to do. You have time to figure it out or we're going to take it. And if you want to make it a bigger skirmish, you can do that. But most of what we're going to take is wasted desert land that you don't give two shits about.
Hannie, are you happy that people aren't dying trying to cross the border illegally anymore?
Am I happy about
Yeah,
what?
that they're not dying trying to come here, like dying out in the middle of the desert, like lots of people and crossing the river.
But they
that.
are.
Hmm?
But they are.
Well,
and
you will
that-
always have some.
Yeah, and so I had a cousin who worked at a ranch that bordered to Mexico down in Texas.
Mhm.
And they actually would put out like bottles of water,
Sure, yep.
gallons of water, and that
I think that was a good thing.
and yeah, I mean they regularly did that.
Yep.
And he was like, maybe once or twice my cousin would actually have to go and dig someone out of the well, the well water for the house or whatever. But he's like, we knew they were out there and we knew that it was tons of desert. So we
Yep.
made sure to have, at least water for people
Yep.
coming across. I mean,
Because they're coming no matter what. And so putting
yeah,
the water out so that it can save a
I-
life now and then, that's
I grew
worth it.
up in Washington State. So, going through Los Angeles and there's like the little signs that show like a family running across
Yeah.
the interstate was really like eye-opening to me because I'd never seen anything like that here. But I saw it in Los Angeles and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I mean, I have been that person who's been a step away from homelessness. I have been a person with absolutely nothing in my pocket. I have been a person praying that, my children are going to finally have a roof over their head and food in their bellies and clean clothes and warm at night and that. I mean, yeah, and it's sad that we still have that happening in this day and age. To me, I wish there was a way that we could solve all of that, but we're still working on that.
There is
the stuff on the border. I mean, none of this is new. I mean, hell, when I was a kid, we lived in San Diego. My dad was active duty military.
Yeah.
And a great deal of what he did was training in the desert between southern San Diego and the Mexican border.
Right.
And hell, he'd go out for 6 to 8 weeks at a time into the out in the desert to do whatever they were doing. And every trip back, Dad had stories about, oh yeah, another group of illegals, and the training evolution out there would have to shut down, and they would have to call Border Patrol, and it cost the government probably millions every year.
Boy, I feel like a giant asshole when I say this, but
what, nuke Mexico?
No, I hadn't said that yet.
Okay. Just, I mean, Kevin's had us nuke Scotland.
Yeah,
he
France.
wants us.
Scotland.
Why are we nuking Scotland?
Because
they released the Pan Am bomber,
the
back in the
Lockerbie
day.
Scotland bomber. He was pissed that they released him. We got to nuke Scotland.
And I think we need to bomb Japan every 10 years or so to remind them what it felt like.
Come on, you said every 50 years because you got to remind them.
Inflation though, 10 years now.
Do you know how many amazing distilleries are in Scotland?
Almost
not nuke Scotland.
Almost care. Listen. I love the idea of you guys leaving water out for the people that came across the border illegally. I think it's a really bad idea. It's almost like knowing that someone's going to break into your house and leaving them milk and cookies on the counter.
You mean Santa?
Yeah,
Santa.
don't you do that for Santa?
But again, I'm
Kevin's like, but he's white.
But I'm not trying to be insensitive. But
damn, way to be a Caucasian.
Listen, I'm not trying to be insensitive. But the problem is that they're coming across the border illegally. They have options of ways. Now, we could certainly refine our immigration policies and make it a streamlined process for people to apply to come into the country. We could fix the amnesty program. We could do a lot of stuff legislatively.
Right.
But encouraging people to come over illegally is not the answer, because we're not only bringing people in illegally, but we're basically giving the cartels power, because people will go to the cartels to find their way into the country. So they're getting a steady supply of money from people that have to be smuggled in. The cartels are the ones that are coming off as the heroes. And like, not only are we bringing illegal people into the country, but we're also making the cartels more powerful by making them have to be the source to get them here.
But, my thought is this. I mean, immediately, hey, they are illegally entering the country.
Mm-hmm.
But the why is not always related to the drug cartels.
No, but I'm saying, but the drug cartels are behind the human trafficking that are helping getting people across Mexico to the border. They're paying them money to get them across.
Well, yeah, but there are complete other people who are like, hey, listen, I can't make ends meet in my home country, and there is no way that I'm going to be able to make ends meet. I mean, when I lived in a little town in South Texas, so considerable amounts of people who were there illegally. Yeah, that's the thing. But those people weren't there because of drug cartel, because of something like that. I mean, they were there for things like, hey, listen, I can only make pennies a day in Mexico when I've got like 8 or 10 people in my family. And I know that if I cross the border into the United States, I have an opportunity for potential education. I have an opportunity to make money, to be able to, I knew people who regularly would work at like the tire shop or whatever. They would send that money home weekly at the post office, home to mom, or at a store, to send money home to their family in Mexico.
But is that our problem though? I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive, right?
Right. No.
But if you're in Mexico or Guatemala or El Salvador or Costa Rica, right? And you're one of those people that are making pennies a day, and your response is, boy, I need to grab the family and move to the United States. Why aren't you going to stay and fight? Why aren't you going to rise up? Why? I mean, when again, I'm going back 250 years, but we didn't just all migrate to Canada. We rose up against an oppressive British government and took our country over. We're not doing them any favors. In fact, we're screwing our own economy, right? Like they're earning money in this economy and then they're sending it overseas. They're sending it back home. That doesn't help us here. That doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's not, I'm not insensitive. I want people to have a good life.
Right.
But that's not our fight. That's not our battle.
But if you were somehow in their country in the same circumstances, and their country was comparatively like the United States, wouldn't you hope to have some support, some help, pathway to citizenship, making sure that, whatever money you can send home to make sure your family's okay, you can do that? I mean,
whether or not I would want that and whether or not I should expect that are two different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like of course I would want that. Like I would, I want Bill Gates to say, I've got an extra $1 million laying around because I'm rich as shit. Let me send Kevin a check. I would want that.
I would want that too. Hey, Bill, if you're listening.
But I don't expect
me and Kevin
it.
are here.
Yeah. But I don't expect it.
No.
I know it's not a reasonable ask. And,
right.
And I love this idea, and I don't mean you specifically, Hannie.
No.
I love this idea that Democrats are like, well, let's let all the immigrants come across the border. They want a better life. Then why don't you let them live with you? I don't mean you, but why don't the Democrats let them live with the Democrats? You're a Democrat. You have a guest room. Why not bring in somebody who's here illegally from across the border, get them a home? Don't make them be homeless. Don't make them live in a car with their 8 members of their family because they got nowhere to go. Why don't you let them live with you? If you're so adamant about giving them a better life, can they move in and sleep on your couch?
You bet. So I encourage you to look up the story in Spokane about Ben Stuckert. And, he had sponsored a couple of people and ICE detained them. And Ben sat in front of the ICE vehicle, I guess. I'm paraphrasing this because I would prefer you go look and read the actual story.
Will you send me the names when we're...
Yeah. I will definitely do that. But yeah, so he had sponsored 2 people and they were taken away. And he's still in... trying to get that situated as far as I know. I have not gotten an update. But yeah, I mean, that happened not too long ago just in Spokane.
But you would agree that's the rare, right? I mean, most of the time we don't see people on the left that support the open borders policy saying, and by the way, y'all can come stay here. Like that's the rare example, right?
I don't know. I don't know that I'd be able to answer that because that's my only example.
Well, we saw the political stunts of moving busloads of immigrants up to the Hamptons or whatever. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard and that kind of thing. And we know what the responses were there from the far left.
Right, but
not my house.
My argument is, why are they not volunteering it? Like if your response is, we want to give these people a better life. We want to give them an opportunity to thrive. No, we want to give them the ability to rise up, right?
No, the way they should be saying is, we want you to give these people a better opportunity. They don't want to get their hands dirty, whoever they is.
I've heard the same argument about the homeless, and I have taken people in who have literally been living on the streets.
Right.
I mean,
but do you think your average politician, I don't care what side of the aisle they sit on, do you think your average politician's gonna do that?
Probably not.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Hannie, you're the happy exception.
I am, and I've even been told that sometimes that gets me in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I have lived in a lot of negative, and sometimes I'm not perfect, but I always try to, give benefit in that, because, hey, people do run into bad times, bad circumstances, bad existences. You know?
But you're the exception, right? And when you look at the discussion,
I think that I am an exception, but I think that there are more out there. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
So, but when you look at how, I'll say conservatives feel about it, but I don't think it's just a right left thing. When you look at how I would think most people feel about it, we have a lot of people coming across the border that are not here legally. a decent percentage, and I don't know what the percentage is, but a decent percentage of them are relying upon the system, especially when they first get here. We have state governments that are placating to that. So we're going to give them food stamps. We're going to give them medical. They haven't ever paid into it. They just showed up and they're going to apply for it because they're here and they don't have anything. And a lot of them will grow out of that, right? They'll get a job, they'll contribute, they'll figure out ways, right? But in the meantime, they are drawing from the system that they never paid into. And you look at the average American who's saying, you sons of bitches, I'm paying $4 a gallon for milk. Gas in the state of Washington is now up over $5 a gallon in a lot of places. I'm getting taxed out the ass to help cover the costs of people that are now here that never paid into the system. Why am I being beat up on the tax bracket and costs to cover it? Why is that okay? And I can't get an answer for that.
And see, I don't, and I've heard that argument many, many times, but I don't know that I totally subscribe to it because remember when I was talking about little guy who came up from Mexico earning money, sent home to mom in Mexico. He didn't have medical. He didn't have food stamps. Most of the time, he was living on scraps or, if my son was helping him with his homework, we would pack dinner for him. And that would be sometimes his only meal in a day, sadly. And I'm going to go just a little wider on this and talk about, those who come up and work in the fields day in and day out. I don't believe that every one of them has food stamps or every one of them gets the medical care that they need
I'm sure they do,
at the hands of the American taxpayer. I don't believe that. I mean, I would have to spend more time obviously researching that because for everything that will come out of my mouth, there's somebody to say, yo, Hannie, I got news for you. Yo, hello. So I think that because there are some bad examples out there, people tend to fixate on that as opposed to saying, hey, look, maybe we should broaden it out and research. And I know that at times I've even been I've even reacted in such a way. Oh, well, this has got to be so because, but I would want to go back and research more. So, I want to give you an example, but it has to do with something else, and I'm not going to do it because we're still on the subject.
I will say this too. There is one argument about this immigration thing that I'm surprised that nobody ever brings up. Like I never hear it. Maybe other people do. Which is part of the issue in Central America is our fault. We have supported regime change. We have supported governments down there that were oppressive, that turned a blind eye to things. And so some of what's going on in El Salvador and in Costa Rica and in Honduras, what happened in Panama, like a lot of that stuff was U.S. created to begin with. So the only argument I can buy into this whole thing with a more of an open border is they could look at us and say, look, you motherfuckers, you started it down here.
Yeah.
Our mess down here is the result of what you allowed to happen when you supported regime change. So to quote Barack Obama's favorite pastor, the chicken's coming home to roost. Like I can I don't know if I agree with it, but I can understand the argument if that was what they came back with.
I'm not saying this per se to disagree with you because I don't doubt that there are some things that we did there that caused some shit situations. But I don't think that we did that much because they already had a whole host of their own problems. And remember, I've been saying for years, having worked in immigration, that the worst part about immigration to me is that we're allowing the best and brightest from these countries that are shitholes to come here.
Yeah, because they can't be there.
Because they're not there helping fix their own countries. They're like, F this place. They're like, it's like Republicans moving out of Washington or California.
Well, you got to act in your own best interest at some point.
At some point, I don't disagree with that. But letting them come here illegally, right, isn't solving the problem. It's creating another problem.
Absolutely right.
So,
yeah, I saw a comment in the chat that we need to close the borders, and I don't agree with that. We need to control the borders.
Well, they're already technically closed.
Well,
we don't have open borders for people to just come and go as they please.
Right. what we need to do is control the borders.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
certainly that's what I
Yeah,
think they're
I mean,
trying to do.
we need to let the best and the brightest in, because that's what's good for us.
So we do have within our policy and in our rules and laws, we do have programs for the best and brightest to come in.
Yeah, certainly.
But unfortunately, we've been letting them come. You know, in fact, a lot of people are critical of Trump and doing his golden card deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, all that is a rebranding of a program that's already existed. If you had a certain amount of money, you could already come into the United States. Trump didn't make up a new program to do that. He just renamed it. It already existed.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a lottery system, and
his desire to claim things as his own, I think, hurts.
It does hurt him.
Like
it
if
hurts
he-
his credibility.
Yeah, if he well, not even that. It hurts the process, right? If he'd came out and said, "This is a program that's been around for 75 years. I'm not doing anything new. I'm just putting it front and center and focusing our resources on it," then people couldn't say, "Oh, this is Trump trying to make money." They could, you know what I mean? But instead, he comes out and says, "Well, there's a golden ticket. If you got enough money, then
yeah.
it backs up the fact
Well-
that he's a white elitist prick, right?"
Well, what it was there was already a system in place that said that if you were going to come to the United States and you were going to start a business and you had $1 million cash, you could expedite the process and you would come in a lot faster. So what Trump did is he says, "Hey, I'm going to sell a gold card, right, for whatever it was. Wasn't it like 5 million or something like that?" And then it's the same process, but he's charging them up front an exorbitant rate that goes against the national debt.
Yeah.
And that's the plan. So look, if they're going to come here, I mean, wouldn't you? I would rather have them pay the money and let that go against the national debt. We're so far in debt we can't see shit from Shinola.
I don't care about the debt.
Well, the whole nother conversation, right?
Okay, can we change the subject really quick? There's one thing I do want to talk about internationally that's not about this stuff, but I think it's really important. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
All right.
And he's like,
Knock yourself out with it.
Do it.
Does it have anything to do with final thoughts?
No, we're not doing final thoughts yet.
That takes at least 15 minutes, and we only have 13.
God, Dennis. Okay.
Wow.
So Benjamin Netanyahu came out this
Time
week.
flies.
Benjamin Netanyahu came out this week and said his plan is to occupy Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
So it is no longer just to destroy Hamas. It is to occupy Gaza. Now, what that means still seems to be up in the air a little bit. There's been some talk, Netanyahu came out later in the week and said, well, my goal is to turn it over to some other local leadership that is not Israeli. Some people have said that he's just going to try to absorb the whole thing. My concern is that by taking Gaza and occupying Gaza at some level, he is just going to recycle the problem again, as the issue in that part of the world has been recycled for the last 60 years. And he's going to create another generation.
Everybody's passing Mike's DeLorean.
He's going to
this.
create another generation of jihadists.
So I totally understand that argument. I think that it is not an unintelligent position or point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, though, reality has to be dealt with. And what are the realistic choices? How do you deal with that area? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And not, as you said, create another generation of terrorists. How do you do that? I can only think of one way that you can accomplish that.
Me too.
Kill everybody.
Yeah, kill them all.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I'm not
build
joking
the-
about that.
build the hotels and condos that Jared
Yeah.
Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, wants to build.
Yeah, I mean, because no matter what you do, you're either kicking them out to rebuild everything, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I don't disagree
Like,
with
it
you.
sucks to say it, but
Yeah.
So how do you go back in and do this stuff and not have to commit genocide?
Yeah.
You have to go in and occupy, because you can't let Hamas come back to power.
Yeah.
And the people of Gaza voted them in 15 years ago, voted them into
Right.
power. And they've had millions and billions of dollars coming into Gaza now for 20 plus years.
Mhm.
And that it still was a squalor shithole.
Yeah.
And you don't think that everybody, the people I've seen interviewed, in fact, Trey Yangst lives in Israel. He's a reporter for Fox News. So he's routinely doing reporting on this stuff. And they had another one of their morning reporters that went to Israel. He went into the camps to talk to the people. And he was completely allowed to go in and talk to anybody and ask him any questions, because he wanted to see if the rumors about Israel shooting people was true. And so what he found out is that the people are starving so bad that the only way they're able to hold them back is by shooting rounds into the crowd.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they bum rush the supply trucks when they come in, and people are getting hurt, killed. The supplies are getting stolen, and most of them end up in Hamas's hands.
Yeah.
And it sucks to say it, but nobody else has a better idea. You have a group of people that have allowed a group like Hamas, with all of its flaws, to fester like a pus-filled maggot eating underneath the skin of the people of Gaza. It is destroyed.
There's your memory before you go to bed.
It has destroyed. You cannot sit there and play the game. It's not Hamas. It's Israel's fault. You're an idiot. Nobody with half a brain is going to sit there and say Israel forced Hamas to cross the border on October 7th to do what they did. Hamas had been planning that for years. Do you think they used a laser underground and bored those tunnels out because they made a decision on Sunday that on Monday morning they were going to cross? Hell no. They had been planning that for years, because all that money that they were getting for infrastructure and to make life in Gaza better for the Palestinian people, you know what they did? They used it to build fucking tunnels. They used it to buy rockets. They planned that for years. So anybody that lingers under the delusion that the people of Gaza had no idea what is going on, there were 30,000 people in Hamas, and there was 2 million people. You know what kind of a percentage that is? That's like 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon. Everybody in Gaza knows somebody else that's a member of Hamas.
2.2.
And well, great, that changes the whole conversation.
Yeah, I think the only thing they can do, Paul, is if they loaded up buses and they took them from Gaza to the West Bank. And
it's not big enough, though.
And they, I don't care. I'm
You want to pack them in like sardines?
But what I'm saying is that's all that they could do at this point.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you're gonna try to take it over, you can't leave it the way that it is.
Agreed. Yeah. You
So
can't.
you're either gonna kill everybody, or you're gonna bust everybody out, or you're gonna do something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your options are really limited.
Yeah.
So I understand the criticism of Netanyahu and the criticism of Israel. Look, they're gonna occupy now. Okay, dumbass. What, you got a better idea? No, you don't. I'll answer for you, because you don't have a better idea. There is no better idea. The only other feasible option that I've heard was put forth by Donald Trump, for God's sakes, and that was, let's bust them all out to surrounding countries. And if you don't think that Egypt knew what the hell they were talking about when October 7th happened, and Egypt said, yeah, we're closing that fucking border. Those people ain't coming over here.
There's a reason why Egypt and Jordan and Syria don't want them.
That's right.
You know, there's a reason.
That's right. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm going to advocate. I'm going to advocate for the river to the sea, but the opposite way. I want the Israelis to go from the river to the sea. They need to march the opposite way. They need to clear out Hamas completely. They need to annihilate the resistance, and they need to get the innocents out of there and somewhere else. So
because there are a lot of innocent people.
There's a lot of innocent people, and they're not being served there. They can't get food. They can't get clean water. They don't have electricity. So if you're going to do something with it, you've got to get them out of there and get them somewhere where they can get.
Why don't they have water and electricity?
Because of Hamas.
Because of Hamas, but
And
also
because of Israel.
and because of Israel,
Yeah,
right?
It's a double-edged sword.
It is a very
against them.
double-edged sword. But listen, as I've said on this show 1,000 times, if I've said it once,
it's only been 42.
I don't agree with how Israel's handled this entire thing, but I also come back around to what other options do they have? Again, I'll go back to Mexico. If a bunch of Mexican terrorists came across the border into San Antonio and killed 1,200 people and then scurried back across the border, you don't think we'd have the Marines and the Army and the Air Force in a heartbeat carrying on operations across the border? We would fuck some shit up, and we wouldn't talk about it.
Every
We
college
wouldn't-
student within 100 miles would be at the border to stop them.
Yeah, we wouldn't talk about it. We wouldn't complain
They got
about
off
it.
the bus.
We wouldn't listen to international pressure about it. Our response would be, we're fucking some shit up.
Yeah.
You know? And so this idea that Israel is somehow got to be restrained in their response, and boy, they better be careful. Fuck that. They've been beat up by Arab nations since they got their land in 1948. This isn't a recent excursion into craziness. This is literally 60 plus, almost 60 years of just insanity. And the Israelis are not innocent. I'm not saying that they are.
Yeah, they've done some messed up stuff. They attacked and almost sunk a U.S. ship.
Yeah, but
exactly.
But if you
USS Liberty.
But if you look at the history over there, it is constantly Arab nations screwing with Israel and then Israel responding.
Right. I agree with you.
It's like the
100% on that.
Crusades still
The
going
thing
on.
that bothers me is that back to the numbers, 2 million or almost 2 million women and children. Of course, could they rise up against the loss?
2.2 million.
2.2.
Oh, that's
It
a
is
total
2.2.
population. That's a total population of those 2.2.
But I mean, could
In
they
a very
rise up
small
against
space.
the mosque? Maybe, but I mean, the women are second class or third class citizens in their culture. So the problem.
Why don't they learn from leftist women on this state in this country?
Do you think they have internet?
When
Come on
Donald
now.
when Donald Trump got elected, how many women with blue hair that were on the left said, "Well, we're not going to have sex with our husbands anymore." I guarantee you, if that
Really?
happened, two things would happen: either one, men in Palestine would get a lot more unhappy, or two, there'd be a whole lot more goat pregnancies. Okay, so it's not like they're not powerless.
Kevin's goat comments are directed
We
to Kevin
cannot
only.
respond.
Right. Okay,
We
Kev-
cannot respond to every single nation's problems.
Kevin,
No, I agree. I
Kev,
totally agree.
that won't work in that part of the world.
Yeah.
You do
Because
realize that the
goats
women
and
aren't allowed
humans
to say
sperm
no.
Yeah, they're not even allowed
That- they're-
to
they-
show their skin.
Can I tell you why that's bullshit? Here's why it's bullshit. Because before 1920, women in this country had minimal rights.
Correct.
And yet somehow women were able to coalesce together and find enough men that supported the agenda that they were able to enforce some kind of change. These things don't change until people are ready to put their foot down and risk injury, put their foot down and risk death, put their foot down and risk their comfortable way of life.
Okay,
you have to rise up or be stomped down.
Okay, you know that part of the world that is the risk of death. I mean that women in that part of the country that are disobedient get stoned.
But I understand that,
and not in the cannabis way.
But I understand. But hold on, and I understand that,
Good
and I'm not saying it's okay. But I'm merely suggesting the fact that these other countries are other cultures that are not ours.
Correct.
So
I agree with.
We cannot impose our idea of what a moral worldview is on those other countries.
Also agree.
So we need to stay out of it. And if they
Also
get to
agree.
the point where they are not happy living the way that they're living, then they have to rise up on their own and enforce some kind of a change, just like we did. Because in 1776, when we rose up, motherfuckers in North Africa didn't care about us. They didn't
Actually,
help
the
us.
Barbary pilots in North Africa started kidnapping our
Yeah,
sailors.
so
shortly
they
after
didn't
that,
care about us.
No, they did. We were worth money to them.
Well, what I'm saying, they didn't help us.
Well, they did when they put us on the ships in chains. Yeah.
Okay, God, shut up, Paul. I hate you. My point is, other nations did not help us.
Correct.
We had to get to a point where we had
French did.
where we had gotten to a line, nuke the French.
The French helped us win the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but now the French want their Statue of Liberty back.
That dude didn't count. It's
They
like
can take it back.
the one last thing, and I know we're ending up the show, but the one last thing, I'll just bring it up. You guys
Yeah.
aware that Trump is meeting with Putin this Friday
Yep.
in Alaska?
Anybody have an issue with that?
I don't have an issue with it. I just think that he better watch out because the last time Putin talked about Alaska, he wanted it back.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll Dennis is like, I was going to Alaska. Now I'm going to the Russian.
Dennis, when do you leave? The 29th? Okay.
Good luck.
I can just imagine
May the
Dennis.
force be with
Dennis,
you.
are you going to
America
Wasilla?
then.
You going to Wasilla? I can just, Dennis.
I have a friend in Wasilla, like from childhood friend from Wasilla.
I can imagine Dennis wandering down the streets of Wasilla, screaming, "Sarah Palin,
Right.
Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, are any of you here?"
Right.
I can see what to from my house.
Let me say, I've been to the lake that she claims to live across.
I have too. Lake Lucille. Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to DJ on that lake.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I went to the park that's over there. There's a
And
park
I
on Lake
never
Lucille.
saw her once.
Yeah. I went to a park on Lake Lucille, which is literally right across the lake from the Palin compound. I took a picture there and said I couldn't see Sarah anywhere, nor could I see Russia out of her backyard.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I can see Bainbridge Island out my window.
Can you? That's close to
Yes.
seeing the Soviet Union. Dennis, hold on. Give Give Dennis the mic back really quick. Dennis,
No,
one other thing I
thank
wanted to
you.
touch on really quick. I know you want to get out of here,
Yeah.
but there is rumblings coming out of the Trump administration this weekend that the Trump administration is strongly discussing behind the scenes declassifying marijuana.
Declassifying
Finally?
Yeah.
Finally?
What are they just?
It's
would
already
remove it.
supposed to be moved off the Schedule 1.
Right.
Yeah.
And which is
So the
epic in
federal
itself.
government still does not it's not legal federally for weed.
That's right.
The states have done it, but federal law trumps state law. There's a whole bunch of gray area there, but the Trump administration is talking about it, which I think is interesting. right?
Legalize weed. Leave it alone.
Well, then what do you do with all the people that are in prison or county jail?
Let them out.
Commute their
I
sentences.
agree.
Let them out.
Let them out.
Let them out, especially if they are under a certain amount. I mean, if you're trafficking large amounts from, outside the state, outside the country,
Okay.
then that's one thing.
If you're
but-
busted with a sailboat with 30 kilos of weed in the hull,
exactly, but if you're busted with an ounce on the streets of Seattle,
come on,
let it go.
Let him go.
An ounce. That's just a nice weekend.
Exactly.
Or if you're Dennis, it's 13 minutes. It's
I don't know. Dennis
I
and
don't
I have
know.
tried to work our way through an ounce, and
how much is an ounce? Like I honestly don't know.
How much is an ounce?
A shot glass.
it's 29 grams.
That doesn't fucking help me. I don't know metric
Okay.
system.
You get
Wow.
You get anywhere between
an ounce.
one and 2 joints per gram.
Well, an eighth
Okay.
is $30.
How many grams in an ounce?
29.
And how many grams to a joint?
It depends on who rolls it.
Depends on who rolls. I usually roll about a
It
1
is-
gram joint.
It is really important.
So
because
you
as-
get 29 joints out of it then,
About
essentially. Okay.
As Kevin is getting older, we all have encouraged him to experience and enjoy certain things
Which
in life
will
that he
never
hasn't
happen.
before. No,
Like a woman? Okay, go ahead.
don't listen.
That was all you.
Hey,
that
hey,
was not Paul.
Hanny, we have
Yeah.
all tried to express to Kevin because he's
Yes.
a really uptight kind of person.
I know.
And he has
He would be
terrible
so
luck with women.
relaxed.
He does.
And we think we all want him to have a male,
For
female,
just
doesn't matter,
pennies
just a
a
good
day.
partner.
Shut up.
You
And-
too can help Kevin get a woman.
Yes, and that's what I'm talking. So
donate today.
Hanny,
Dial up right now.
Wow.
I can
You
imagine
use your dial-up internet.
I can imagine. Oh, by the way, did you hear what
Now
hold on.
available on AOL.com.
AOL announced yesterday
Yes, I
that they're
heard this.
getting rid of dial-up. That they're getting rid of the dial-up.
Finally?
I'm kind of mad because I had AOL discs to give the finest people for
Yeah.
the holiday season.
Hold on.
I still have them. I want
It
to
was
wrap those
actually
up.
still available.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
still
that's
available.
like when you care to send the very best. Here's an AOL disc.
That's right.
well, we think we've encouraged Kevin, Hanny. We want to know your
Okay.
opinion on this.
Tom,
we think-
Tom is blown away right now.
We think Kevin should smoke a joint.
I think you should too.
Yeah,
No.
I
you
not
know
gonna
what?
happen.
All right.
One
Then
joint
Kevin should have an
say,
edible.
Okay, I've done it.
Edible's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An edible.
An edible, like one of the ones that made Paul
Oh my
check
God.
how fast deer run.
Safety friend. Okay, we can do this.
Oh, I've
I will
Dennis.
hold your hand, Kevin.
I've made.
Not an Oregon
I'll
edible.
let my buddy bring up an edible from Oregon.
Hold on, I'm gonna check the
Yes, those
chat.
Oregon edibles are the bomb.
Listen, I
They're
made
100
it.
milligrams for one.
Yes, they're no joke down there.
Yeah, a half
Yes.
hour later is fun as hell.
Yeah, you know,
I've done it
that.
twice.
I
Tegan says
I've never slept better with
Yeah.
that Oregon edible.
I have no issue sleeping. Literally,
Yeah.
I
Not
had
the
an
point,
ex-
Kevin.
Not
Not
I
the
had an
point.
exit time me one day from the time I hit the pillow till I was snoring was 13
No,
seconds.
Kevin, not the point.
Tegan said that would be dumb. Living in the weed capital of Washington State and see what it has done to our county, that would be so effing dumb.
Tegan, I'm not asking him to go become a stoner, okay?
And I actually think
Right, no.
think weed should be legal, right? Because alcohol
Weed should be legal.
Alcohol is worse than weed.
yeah,
But it's not my jam. It's just not my thing.
It's,
I have no
which is why an
interest.
edible is a
I can
perfect
I'm not gonna do an
alternative.
edible.
But you haven't tried it, so you
I
don't
would say,
know.
You know,
Kevin,
some
you
pe-
can't
everybody has
actually
their own
say.
thing.
I also have never been butt fucked by a monkey, but that's not going to happen either. I don't need
Well,
to try it to realize I'm not going to
alrighty
like it.
But you know what? Neither have I. But I've had a hemorrhoid operation that let me know. You know what? Hey, not my jam.
Wow, I'm so glad I came tonight to hear this scintillating conversation.
What do we learn on Outlaw Radio tonight? K-Dog's never been butt fucked by a monkey. All right.
And Dennis has had a hemorrhoid operation.
My point
had
is,
a vase stuck up his ass by a doctor.
My point is, I don't have to do it to know that it's not something I want to do.
No, but it's for the rest of us. We all want to see.
Yeah, we really do want to see this.
It's not about you, Kevin.
Taking one for science.
I'll make you a deal. I'll make y'all a deal.
Oh, what?
Stop
We're
being
waiting.
shelfish. I'll make y'all a deal. If I'm right, this isn't even if I'm wrong, because I believe I'm right.
Right.
If I'm right, and AOC is the next president of the United States, which I firmly believe is going to happen.
You're going to need cannabis, my friend.
Then I'm going to need cannabis.
You're
And
gonna
I'll
need
do some
cannabis.
edibles with all of you guys live on air.
Okay. You're going to need cannabis.
If AOC wins the presidency in 2028,
Oh my God.
I will do
that
edibles
will
on
make a whole new episode of Fuck Around and Find Out.
and now Paul will be rooting for AOC to win the White House.
No, I won't. No, I
What do you,
won't.
wait, hold on. What do you think of that, Hanny?
AOC,
She just pulled third in a nationwide straw poll behind Newsom.
Makes her
and Buttigieg.
second loser.
You know, good luck. I have not seen a president. Sad but true. I have not seen a presidential air quotes candidate that has really, really, truly excited me yet.
Gotcha.
And I feel like it's, the old Kimberly Guilfoyle, the best is yet to come.
Oh God, she's annoying as a
Yeah.
fucking pimple on.
Anyway, I'm waiting, and that's not to say that the three current who are like, "Hey, I want to run for president. Here I am," aren't necessarily bad candidates. It's just that I myself am not really excited yet.
Yeah.
Like when Obama says, "Hey, I'm going to run for president," I was 120%
Yeah, I
in.
was
I'm like,
too.
hell yeah.
Yep.
When he gave his speech saying, "Yes, I will run for president," I was like, woo! Yeah.
I think a lot of us felt that. I mean, none of us, I'm sure, thought that he was going to be involved in probably one of the biggest political scandals in American history. But we'll see. The jury's still out on that. You don't know what I'm talking about.
That's how
do you?
excited. Paul
Really?
felt the same way when Donald Trump getting down the staircase. Though.
Hold on.
Thank you, Hillary.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
Oh wow.
No.
Okay.
You share that with
The-
me.
Oh, it's
the Russian collusion stuff.
It all started on his desk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was released by the Department of.
Okay.
Yeah. You still don't know.
I don't know if
I
that's true. or
don't.
not.
I don't.
I don't know
So
if I
you
believe it or not.
I'll send you some info.
Yeah, send me some
I'll send you
info.
some info.
I will at least read it before I
Yeah.
say okay.
The jury is still jurying.
So
Well, for
Rick,
sure,
Rick
for
said
sure.
Rick said if I do an edible, that'll be a work issue. Kevin, no, it won't, because at my agency they don't P-test. Secondly, it's legal in the state of Washington, so I don't know what that would look like.
But
I'm
if
not
you
going to
have
do
a
it on
federal
property.
job, I would think that would be some problem because again, it's still
They don't-
Federally illegal, but
They don't
you go.
test us. They don't do P-tests at work.
because of the state.
At my place, they don't do P-tests.
I mean, I have a
gonna-
brother-in-law that's Jamaican, and his job told him flat out when we legalized, okay, we still test, but we'll let you know ahead of time.
Yeah.
That was nice of
It is a
them.
big deal, like for like even just concrete truck drivers,
Yeah.
Also, Lori said I could
CDL.
always take a bag of her urine to work if I needed to. So thank you, Lori.
Well, anyone who has a CDL has to
Yeah.
has to
Wow.
pee clean.
Yeah.
Okay, I want Andy's pee then.
By the way,
This just got weird.
Even though I don't smoke weed and have never done weed, nobody wants to use my urine for a urine test because it'll come up positive for donuts.
For bacon fat.
Donuts.
Bacon, fat, and donuts. All right.
Uh,
Other quick questions. If you do it on air, that's cause to test you. Probably. Whatever. Isaac said, "See you at
Isaac.
home, Dad."
I'm not coming to your home, Isaac.
Yeah, I'll see you home,
Bye.
buddy.
Nobody agrees with me about AOC. That's that's totally fine. You guys don't have to agree with me. When it happens, it'll happen. Listen, when Barack Obama announced he was running for president,
I was a happy person.
but you were happy, but he was not polling in the top 5 at the time. He came out and announced, but he was not high in the polls when you announced. So the polls, the way the polls lay out, does not matter. It matters what happens once you do it. And AOC is, contrary to what you schmucks think, she's a good speaker. She's an attractive woman, and that won't hurt. And she's young. She's going to motivate the young vote. You just watch. And really, anybody who's a Democrat will win in 2028 because people will be so sick of the Trump administration, just like they were sick of the Biden administration, just like they were sick of the last Trump administration.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Has the young vote ever made a
Obama.
big difference?
Obama Obama, yes, they did make a big difference for Obama. And that's why Kamala didn't win, is because the young vote did not like her.
I'll have to look at some numbers. I don't think the average voter is all that terribly young.
Tegan said, Kevin, please don't end the show without the newest Trump appointment announcement. Did Trump announce somebody? Huh?
Local Joe Kent.
Joe Kent got it. What? I haven't even heard this. What did he get appointed to? I was at work all day today.
You were at work today on a Sunday?
Yeah, I was at the escape room today.
Oh, okay.
He was escaping.
Wait, Joe Kent got selected for what?
Yeah, he works in Tulsi Gabbard's organization, director of intelligence, I believe. Paul, please correct me. I'm not exactly sure on the whole title.
I know the conversation
like last week.
Yeah, 3 days ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact thing.
He has been Trump named Kent as his nominee for the director of National Counterterrorism Center.
That's what it was.
I thought it was intelligence. My bad.
So he's been the chief of staff to Tulsi Gabbard, but he was just nominated to be National Counterterror. Now, that was back in February of 2025. That was like 6 months ago. Who did he name?
His appointment just got confirmed.
Oh, did he get confirmed?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, that's cool. I don't know if Joe Kent, excuse me. I don't know if Joe Kent is qualified to serve as the counterterrorism director.
He's got a military background.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying I don't know. But it's cool for somebody from Washington State to get appointed. What sucks is you're taking a well-situated Republican out of the state where you're trying not to lose any Republican power.
Well, he wasn't elected here.
Yeah, he wasn't elected.
No, but
he lost.
No, I know. But let me finish. He is in Washington State. He's well connected. He's a conservative. He's got power behind him. He can get fundraising behind him. He can do a lot of stuff for the party in the state. He could run again. And now
he'll have some national clout.
But he's not. But it's not going to help us in this state. He's going to be like Ben Compton, right?
But
somebody else who's no, I don't mean that bad. But somebody else that had the ability to do something to help here that has now left the state that will not be here to help.
But
that's all I'm saying. And I'm knocking Ben. I'm just saying that what happens when you get an entrenched conservative that leaves the state.
But after his tenure with the Trump administration, he's going to come home with more horsepower.
Or he's going to come back bruised and damaged because he's aligned with the Trump administration.
Maybe.
I think the national exposure will do him well. And I think he'll be able to bring dollars back to Washington for fundraising.
I hope you're right. I don't know.
I was messaged
if he comes back.
What the referral was to Pete Serrano, the Eastern District Attorney General.
Yeah. Pete Serrano. Remember
is that appointed by Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Eastern District U.S. Attorney.
Pete Serrano
but we still need the
one
Seattle.
Sharp dude, man.
Yes, he is.
Pete Serrano is a sharp dude.
I don't know him, but I'm glad if you say he's sharp,
he is
that's
a
what matters.
sharp dude. And that's actually an appointment I like because he's in Eastern Washington. He's able to make an imprint. He's able to uphold the values of Eastern Washington being in that position. Like there should be no Democrats appointed to anything on the eastern side of the state ever. Because that's not the theological view of people on that side of the mountains.
Okay.
It is for a few.
We still don't have a U.S. District Attorney in Seattle.
Well, do you know why? Because nobody wants to touch that job.
Right?
Who would want that job?
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to come be.
I don't know what's it pay.
If you want to be a Republican and get assigned to Seattle, I don't know, man.
Well, listen, Paul, imagine if you were assigned and you're the guy. You would just spend every day fucking with Seattle.
Male at birth.
No, you would just spend every day fucking with Seattle. You'd be like, okay, overturning this. Okay, overturning this. Okay, overturning this. Like you would just everything that Inslee had done and everything that Ferguson is doing now. You would just as much as you could piss in his pool. Okay, let's do parting thoughts. Parting thoughts. Dennis. On tonight's show, we learned. Okay. Dennis, do you have any parting shots?
Yeah.
Hey,
I do.
by the way, what did you think of the Chargers game this weekend?
What, the one today?
Yeah.
Okay, we've learned that Trey Lance is their new backup quarterback.
Yeah. I like that, by the way.
Because Heineken is a Heineken short of a six-pack.
Damn.
And we learned that the Raiders are still shitty, even with Pete Carroll.
Yeah, that team is going to take.
Russell Wilson made the Giants look good.
He played in the first preseason game.
Well, let me ask you one more football question for you. About that. Rank the top 3 teams in the AFC West, because we know the Raiders are last. So who do you put in there? Because Denver's looked really good with
Denver looks good, but I still put them in number 3, and I'm still going to go
number 1.
Chargers and KC at number 1, and I think
Chargers at number 1 or KC number 1?
I really it's hard to say KC's not number 1, but I'm gonna put Chargers as close number 2.
Okay,
it's still a playoff contender.
Okay,
I think Harbaugh is he's a reason to deal with.
Oh, he's a real deal, man.
And he gets his teams in shape.
I was jealous when you guys got him.
We did though suffer a left tackle dilemma who got hurt. So
yeah,
Rashawn Slater.
Well, you heard what they came out with today. That who's your quarterback?
Herbert.
Yeah, he's listed day to day.
Yeah.
No, they came out tonight and said he's listed day to day. He got sand at his vagina. All right. You want to read something, Dennis? Go ahead. That's what gives you for taking shots at me earlier. Go ahead.
Kevin's still trying to deal with the stuff in the tip of his penis, so it's all right.
All right, I got to laugh at that. That's good.
All right, no. Also, coming up on August 21st, Miss My presents a funny night out. It's the final show for DJ Ashe. Come out. I'll be out there as well. But then September 18th, I make my debut on a funny night out at the Traceton Movie House. And our headliner is Juan Denmark, who has been on the Kill Tony podcast. And
that's a good podcast.
It's going to be what the fuck is that smell? Kevin, did you shit?
You're not going to smell it all the way over there. No, I did not.
Yes,
Kevin,
I don't smell anything over here.
What is
Wow.
Do you know how much tickets are for that?
I think they started $10.
$10. That's not bad. All right.
A funny night out, local
when
comedy.
Is it again? The 21st?
There's the 21st, and then I have my debut on September 18th.
Okay.
And don't forget, Doc Love the Kids Set on the 23rd. Come down Lions Field and check out the Outlaw Radio Network. Check out DJ D. Check out Doc. And then also on the 13th of September, the Outlaw Invitational.
Okay.
Oh,
really quick, in regards to Doc Loves the Kids, I want to point this out. We haven't talked about it a lot. We need to talk about it more. We will be running the dunk tank at Doc Loves the Kids.
Lori will be running the dunk tank.
I mean, we as the show. Lori's
These
coordinated.
gentlemen will be dunking.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not doing it? You're not going to get dunked?
No one wants to
What
see
the
this.
hell?
So Paul will be in there for a half hour. I'll be in there for a half hour. Tom will be in there for a half hour.
Man.
We're gonna reach out to some other people. We're gonna try to get Bremerton Mayor Greg Wheeler to do
How
it.
you let her get off with not getting dunked?
And if you would like to, I don't know, sponsor a donkey for however much they get dunked, and all the proceeds will go to Doc Love the Kids.
So hold on. Can we make sure that's allowed? Because when I said that last week, I said that last week, somebody said we're not sure if they can do that through
exactly. So let's do something away from the event, but involving the event.
Well, can we ask Doc what he
I'll ask.
All right.
I'll check in with
We'll
him.
reach out to Doc and
definitely.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah.
Can I thank Dennis one last time? I really need to do this. Dennis, you kicked ass at Halloween with the music.
thank you.
So Hannie said, and she's not on the microphone, that Dennis kicked ass at Halloween, which is the Halloween celebration down
at
at
Callow. Yeah, I haven't been invited back this year, but I'm pretty sure I will.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Great music. I was passing out handfuls of candy to kids.
Nice.
Outstanding.
Okay. Awesome.
I love doing my community stuff and getting myself out there as a DJ as well. And it's a great way to give back.
Yep.
So
Lori, parting shots.
Parting shots. Guess what? Tomorrow's going to be super, super hot. So if you don't have AC or if you find yourself getting too hot, make sure you find a cooling center, Lowe's, Home Depot,
Town
Costco,
Square Mall.
Town Square Mall.
I mean, Black Ring Spirits will be closed tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Black Ring Spirits is closed.
The refrigerated section at Safeway, Walmart, Fred Meyer's.
Stores. Yeah.
Be like the Bundys.
Yeah. Just go cool yourself in the middle of the day or
Kevin's
at the
gonna
end
be
of the workday.
Kevin's going to be in Walmart, walk up to the coolers, open the door up, pull his shirt up, and just stick his. Oh, they had the beer cooler at Albertsons. Yeah, that's a good idea.
There you go.
They've got one of those at SARS too.
Bring your own chair.
Yeah, just
bring a folding chair, kick it out.
Usually they issue the heat advisory when the temperature doesn't get below 60 degrees at night, right?
Mhm.
So tonight, right?
Yeah.
It's the coldest it's going to get tonight is 65 degrees.
God, that's glorious, man. I mean, I love the
Yeah.
weather, but
Yeah, love the
I
weather.
feel really bad for people without AC. That
Yeah.
includes me.
That is
And I-
sweaty sack
I
weather
gave
for
you
real.
that portable unit.
I have the units,
Oh,
but I
okay.
mean like the whole house AC. And I feel really bad for the homeless people at this
Yeah.
point because that's just
We will have a high of 86 tomorrow.
See, I love that, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
And I would check in with, say, Kitsap Department of Emergency Management.
Yeah, Department of Emergency Management
For cooling centers.
For cooling
Yeah.
centers, yeah.
We literally bought
Libraries.
we bought misters that tomorrow morning I got to attach them to the back of the barn so
Mhm.
that the horses, when they're standing outside, they can stand under the mist.
Yep.
And
You know,
for
stay-
those of you
Get
that
a little misty in your house there, Paul. Be careful, it might knock you over backwards.
I don't cry. I'm a cold-hearted bitch, man.
Go ahead, Tom.
for those that do need an AC unit, Jane in the chat just piped up.
Bimart.
Yeah, Bimart still has AC units for sale.
There you
bless
go.
Bimart.
Go
Did she
to
say-
Bimart.
How much are they? Put them in the chat,
Port
Jane.
Orchard.
Every time I stop by Barmart to say hi to her, she's not there.
Are you
Which is
kidding?
some
Well, it's
jacked
funny.
up
Me and
bitch.
Tom
always
going to
there.
Weimar, we get flooded by
Oh,
people
God,
that
yeah.
love the Outlaw Radio Network.
As they should. As they should.
Yeah,
we are Weimar
happy-
famous.
Yeah, we are Bimart famous.
All right, Lori, anything else on your
So August 23rd,
I love
we
Bimart.
have Doc Loves the Kids. If you have a child that has needs for back to school,
Bring the whole
Backpacks.
family down.
bring
Yeah,
the whole
backpacks,
family.
shoes,
Fun.
Yeah, there's gonna be
haircuts.
And it's
backpacks,
free.
shoes, haircuts,
Everything free.
and
Can I get a-
Unlike the
everything is
fair,
free.
everything free.
Yeah.
Can I find a wife down there? Okay.
No,
Maybe.
no, you can't.
Find a wife,
And then we're also
maybe
going to have a
free.
dunk tank too, where you can throw balls to get these guys out and dunked into the
Yeah,
water.
not Lori because she lacks balls. But
Paul's
you
like,
throw
Aw.
balls.
Paul's
at the
like, this will be
boys.
the first time I've had balls thrown at me since I was in that tank. All right.
Throw balls at me. I feel better that way.
I
Not balls to the face, just balls to the tank.
Palang, palang. All right.
I'll tell you plainly, there are times you worry me.
Margie asked, why are people homeless? Because they don't have a home, Margie. Thanks for asking. Tom, any parting shots?
Damn.
And you better hurry because Dennis is kicking the music off.
I will make it quick. This coming Thursday, the 13th.
13th.
Yeah, I want to wish my son Isaac a happy 22nd
birthday,
birthday.
Isaac.
Happy birthday, Isaac.
to you.
Party delayed.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Are we going to the lake?
Birthday, dear
We will be not on
Isaac.
Thursday, but we will be.
Happy birthday to
Cha
you.
cha cha.
Anything else, Tom?
Nailed it.
Okay, Paul, do you got any parting shots, my friend?
Yeah, I thought this was only a 3-hour fucking show, man. You're dragging it out.
We're now at
You
3
finally
hours
show
and
up on
23
time.
minutes.
No, go ahead. I ain't saying shit more, man. Dennis will
All right.
bust my balls over it.
Parting shots. A couple things I want to say really quick. One, if you're a contractor and you agree to come to my house to look at some stuff for me, then call no show. I'm still going to give you a hard time and shit on your floor. Two,
Is that me or you?
the Kitsap County Fair is coming up. I want to remind you, Kitsap Great Escape is going to have their 10-minute escape room there. Come by and check it out. That'll be a lot of fun.
They had to call it Kevin's fastest minute.
Damn.
You can call the game in, out, repeat if necessary.
Listen, I've been able to make sex last 5 minutes. That's 1 minute
didn't
for the
say anything
acting,
about
4 minutes of
sex.
crying. Okay, so
Why did your brain go there?
all right. The last thing I'll say is now that we have all the final numbers in the election, now is your time to do your homework. Do the research. Don't wait to the last minute. Figure out who you're going to vote for. Go to some of these candidate forums. Read the articles. Make phone calls. Read their websites.
And there's a chemical you can use to let you last more than 10 minutes, too.
All right.
Oh.
I hate you. Outlaw Radio. We'll see you guys next week. We might have a guest. We might not, but it'll be fun anyway. Good night, everybody.
Just respeta. Adios, muchachos.
Good night, bitches.